The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
She was the kind of woman that made you want to drop to your knees and thank God you were a man. Yeah, she reminded me of my mother, all right, no doubt about it.
Tell me another way people say mother.
Mommy.
Mommy.
Mother's Day. God bless Mom.
I wanted my mother to know that I love her every day, not just on Mother's Day.
She's your mom, and she's always been there to give you what you needed when you needed it. Now, you can do the same for her. This Mother's Day, give Mom the Hitachi Magic Wand Vibrator.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Mama. What?
Hi.
The weekend.
Oh, it always feels good. It always feels good to check in on a Friday, especially when we have these fantastic crowds listening. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Tomorrow is the fishing opener, the walleye opener. For the most part, the weather looks to be nice for chasing down Willie the walleye. So the first little shout out I'd like to make is to those heading out for the walleye opener. I only remember, Josh, once in probably 30 consecutive years of hitting the walleye opener, I only remember once where the weather was nice and sunny and warm.
Doesn't seem to happen very often.
29 years out of 30, it was brutal. Brutal weather, except for that 1 year. And I believe it was walleye opener 1989. And you know the bitch of it all? I wasn't even there. I missed it. I missed it. I couldn't go to walleye opener 89 because I had caught mono after eating a girl's mucus at a keg party. You know the story. The two of us were making out wildly at this outdoor keg party on a rainy, cold night. We were making out wildly in the rain. And I ended up swallowing a bunch of mucus that was running out of her nose. And I turned up with mono a few days before leaving town for the fishing trip.
All I picture right now is people's spoons just going back into the cereal bowl and staying there.
Just hearing them like splash in the milk, you know, just drop them.
Yep, well, that's done for the day.
It's kind of what I was going for. We were making out at the keg party.
Well, it's nice to see you in a good mood on a Friday. It doesn't happen very often. Usually...
Oh, I'm in a horrible mood.
Oh, you are? You just said if things were good, you like being here, all that kind of stuff. You didn't mean it?
Well, I guess what I said was it's always nice to check in on a Friday. That's always going to be true. But no, I'm in a terrible mood.
Anything in particular, or just because it's Friday and you don't care, like usual?
Yeah.
Just that type of thing?
I've just had enough.
Gotcha.
I've had enough.
Well, there goes that. I had that little nugget, and I thought, well, that's going to get me through the day.
I mean, I'm not. I hope it doesn't affect you at all, Josh. I try not to bring my negativity, your way. We can still hang out, right?
Of course.
Even though I'm in a brutal mood.
I just know usually on Friday that's what's going to happen. It's like Monday through Thursday. I know it's going to happen on Friday.
Also, you heard in the intro this weekend, this year weekend, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day on Sunday, right, Cubby?
That's right. My wife, I think, is going to get a complex because my stepdaughter, her daughter, is usually gone in some way for Mother's Day. And now a lot of years it was a softball tournament, right? They'd have softball tournament over Mother's Day weekend. And now she's going out of town for really no reason this weekend. So I think she's starting to get a bit of a complex.
Well, like I was just saying about all those walleye openers, we were never around for Mother's Day. Ever.
Yeah, ditto. Every single time we'd be driving back and my dad would hand me the phone. All right, call your mom.
Although maybe she liked that you were gone the entire time. She got like a day to herself, or at least half a day before you guys got back from Walleye opening.
She still had the sisters.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You've got a good point, Dana, because we've had moms text in before who said that exact same thing. Hey, I love Walleye opener because I get the weekend to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the kids will go with that.
Josh, we don't talk enough about your mother on this radio show.
It's like she never comes up.
Rarely.
Right. How's she doing?
She's doing great. I'll be seeing her on Sunday.
Is your mom going down to that Wolves game tonight?
No. She's a new fan, too, though.
Is she?
Yeah, she's also a new fan. Mm-hmm. I don't think Mom's got $300 for per ticket.
Seriously.
Insane.
I know her oldest son doesn't.
I have friends who are season ticket holders, and they love the Wolves. And they're like, God, it is so tempting, though, just to sell the tickets and watch it on TV.
What do they have to pay? Do you know?
It's the I'm not sure exactly. It depends on where your seats are, of course.
Well, yeah, right. But I mean, just like ballpark, is it still crazy expensive? Do you get a discount? Because I am a Twins season ticket holder.
Yes.
Do you get a discount for the playoffs, or is it just you get to buy them before the regular plebes?
You can buy a strip of tickets if they're going to make it all the way through the finals for a discounted price than what they would go on the market, I believe.
So you do get a discount?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember how it works. I'll have to take Dana's word for it. If your mother, Josh, got a ticket to tonight's basketball game, would she have any idea what she was seeing in front of her?
No, but the good news for people sitting around her is she would become the expert in the crowd.
Oh, okay.
And maybe kind of like in between quarters, walk down and just tell Finch, hey, this is something I noticed. I don't know if you saw this, the same thing I am. I've got different seats than you, and I kind of saw a play develop here I thought could have been ran a little better.
She might pull Finchy aside, huh?
It's possible.
I love that. So if she went down to the basketball game, she wouldn't understand what any whistle meant.
I don't think so.
Okay. That's funny. A number of years ago, man, I got a kick out of it. I was watching the Timberwolves, and they were showing the Wolves bench, like they do during a basketball game, showing the coach, showing the players. And I looked at that, that row of seats directly next to the Timberwolves bench. You got Glenn Taylor and his lady, and then there's only about 5-6 seats right there in that front row alongside the Wolves bench. Very exclusive type seats. And I look and I notice one of my friend's dads is courtside. I mean, I think he was sitting hip to hip with Glenn Taylor. And the girl I was seeing at the time, who knew this old timer as well, I said, that's Donnie's old man sitting right there courtside. Now, what was so funny about it is Donnie's dad, if you threw him a basketball, I bet he would fall down and break himself in half. The dude at zero knowledge of any sport. I mean, we're talking like a brainiac type of a guy. And I thought that was so perfect to see him courtside for a basketball game. And he did end up on camera, quite often because of his exclusive seats. And it was just so funny because he had a look on his face that told me he was thinking, I have no idea what's happening. You know what I mean?
These people are tall.
Yeah, right.
Was it something where he got tickets through work, or maybe he won a raffle of some sort?
I don't think I ever bothered asking him. I know I ran into Donnie's dad, and I said, hey, man, I saw you on TV for the Wolves game. And he said, oh, great. I don't think I ever bothered to ask him how or why he was there, but it was so perfect because he would not know the game of basketball, football, hockey, nothing. But there he was.
Well, so I understand basketball, but I don't understand the foul sometimes, so I'd be confused. If I was sitting next to somebody, see, that's not going to be okay, I guess that is a foul. Oh, that's a clear, blatant foul. No, that's not a foul.
You're far from alone on that.
I still can't, when you watch football, it gets a little confusing, but at least the announcers will say, okay, now he took one step, he made a football move, and they'll kind of explain Okay, so that's why that's called, and that's why it's not.
Oh.
But in basketball, it does get kind of confusing.
Yeah, it certainly can. There's an important basketball game in town tonight. And as far as Josh knows right now, his mother will not be attending.
I'll update you if it turns out she's going.
So she can pull Anthony Edwards aside and tell him that's hilarious. You know, women's sports, as you know, has become massive. The ladies are finally getting their due. Momentum has been building for a long period of time, and now women's sports is starting to really gain some traction, and beyond that even. Were any of our mothers athletes?
Nope.
Well, my mom played a couple sports. I wouldn't call her an athlete, but when she was very little, she played basketball.
Oh, really?
And she played a year of, youth baseball.
She's not a tall woman.
No, but she was the tallest in her class for a while. She shot up real quick and just stayed there.
She was. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because how tall would you say she is here now?
She's 5 feet.
5 foot tall.
Yep.
Wow. But at one point in kindergarten or something.
It was kindergarten.
Yeah,
she shot up. She got to 5 feet real quick. And
the tallest kindergartner in Minnesota history.
And, a lot of her siblings are tall. And so they thought, well, here we go. She's going to be a very tall girl. And then she just stayed there. It's kind of like when my beard comes in. It'll come in fast, and then it just stops. It decides it's no longer going to grow.
You do grow a beautiful beard. So, but at one point or another, your mother was a baller.
Yeah, I did for a year.
She played hoops.
She did.
And baseball or softball, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure which it was. She says baseball, but I don't know.
Were any of our mothers athletes?
My mom played softball and volleyball.
Oh, wow. My mom told me at one point she was a very good tetherball player on the elementary school playground.
That's pretty cool.
Tetherball.
Tetherball.
I love tetherball.
I don't know that we ever played that in school.
Oh, really?
I haven't thought about that in a long time.
I hadn't thought about it until you asked this question. And that was like a memory that got brought back to me.
I mean, I remember it sitting there on the playground. I don't remember anyone ever using it.
Kids would just whip it around to smack somebody in the face.
Yeah, we had different areas, and you could play tetherball, knee hockey, and little stupid games like that. That was one of our gym curriculum things.
Okay. My mom is not into, nor has she ever been into water sports. Stop it. It's Mother's Day weekend.
They're still going after her. This crowd is relentless.
Classic Country Jesus said, hey, don't worry about not being able to figure out a foul. My son got hit in the back last night from a wild pitch, and the ump called a ball. Ball?
That's one umpire that's just checked out.
My mom cannot play a mean game of stickball. Knock it off.
God dang. Yeah, my mother was never an athlete growing up, ever. The closest I could tell you, I suppose this required a certain amount of athleticism. She was the majorette in the high school marching band.
Oh, sure.
Oh, definitely,
sweet.
yeah.
With the baton.
You got to have some coordination and stuff like that.
Rhythm?
Yeah, she was the majorette. Oh, we got people. One person, short but fat, she's just texted in and said that her mother played the accordion.
Oh, I wish I knew how to play.
Wow, yeah, you could form a Weird Al tribute act.
That'd be great. There's a lot of the neighborhood kids, they hang out at our house, and I heard some of the kids giving this one particular young guy crap because he had to leave to go take a piano lesson. They're all calling him a nerd and stuff like that, and I was like, whoa. Just wait. You'll be so glad when
that'll
you get older.
You chicks, man.
Yeah, that's what I was telling them. When you get older and you can play the piano, not to mention, if you understand the piano, you can move on to other instruments quite easily.
Yep.
That was the one instrument I wish I would have learned.
Me too. I thought that I was not interested at all.
Yeah, get in line, yeah.
I wish I knew how to play the piano. Can you imagine just going to a Menards, sitting down and playing a little Journey?
Yeah,
good luck leaving with whoever you came in there with.
Right.
Everyone's going to throw themselves at you.
Seriously.
You're gonna friggin' score.
All those other kids are
Nothing hotter.
idiots.
One of my buddies is a dick. He taught himself how to play piano, banjo, guitar, drums, bass guitar, a mandolin. It's insane.
What a dick.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wish I had those talents.
Me too. Yeah, come on with these kids you were talking about, Cubby. There are There's a long list of instruments far nerdier than the piano.
Oh, wait. I played the baritone. And I got stuck with the baritone in school. They said, you're playing the baritone. And then lugging that to and from school on the bus, it was a nightmare. I got so much crap for that.
How did that end up? Did they just the band instructor look at you and go, yeah, you look at the baritone kid?
They just delegate?
I was a fat kid, so, I mean, maybe that was part of it. But they just, I don't know if he was trying to be funny. But, yeah, he handed out the instruments, and I got the baritone.
They thought because you were a bigger kid, you could handle lugging it around.
Oh, man, yeah, that was terrible.
For everything, they went by our last name. So I was always last to get picks on anything. So that's how I got trombone. I wanted to play saxophone or trumpet.
Well, I don't understand. It was alphabetical, so the kid with the last name.
So Anderson would always get to go first. They would get to pick whatever they wanted first.
The kid would pick.
Yep.
Okay. And you ended up with what?
The trombone.
Oh, I would have thought that would have gone far higher than...
Yeah, trombone I think would be kind of cool.
No, I would have thought if you're in the W's alphabetically, you'd be left with a triangle or a...
I wish I would have.
What, were there only 6 kids in the...
No, we had a lot of kids in band, but there was only 3 of us that played trombone.
All right, so to address some other texts, my mom does not play the skin flute.
No, she does not.
She does not play the rusty trombone. And I haven't had time to pre-read this, but it started out kind of nice. So Death Metal Hippie Jesus said, your mother is the kindest, gentlest, most respectful person I've ever met. In the bathroom at the Minneapolis airport.
That's a rough place to get it on.
What a turn of events.
You got to know what you're doing if you're banging at the in the bathroom at the Minneapolis airport. That would lead me to believe that she's been there before.
Yeah, she's got a spot.
Wow. Some of yous texting in had mothers who were athletes, gymnastics, ice skating. And then some of yous are texting in the musical instruments that your mothers played. Very talented ladies. Tell them we said so. Tell them Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I got a question for you as we cruise towards Mother's Day. Now think about your folks now. Who had more going for them between your mom and dad? Who settled? Because in every relationship, there's one person that stands out and then one that settled.
My mom settled.
Mom settled.
Your mother, both of you said, okay, why? Ashley, why was it your mother that had everything going for her? And she was the one who settled. Why did she do that?
My mom's a really bubbly, lively person. She'll talk to anybody. She likes to go out and do things. She likes to travel. And my dad is
kind of a stiff.
Yeah, he's the complete opposite. She calls him a curmudgeon. That's her favorite word for
curmudgeon,
him.
Sure.
But that's just that side of the family. Once the guys get old, they're totally content, just chilling at home all the time. But she's definitely a go kind of girl, and I think that makes people want to be around her a lot, and makes other men want to be around her and stuff like that. So I think if she really wanted to, she could say, "Peace out. Go find some guy that likes to travel," and I'd never see her again.
Oh, no. So I don't think I'm a curmudgeon, but the way you described your parents' relationship, I am the one in that relationship where my wife must have settled for me, because she'd love to travel. She'd like to do all that kind of stuff.
No.
And I'm very happy staying at home. And I'm very happy saying, yeah, go ahead, whatever you want to do. I'm staying home.
No. There is no effing way that your wife is the one who stands out and you settled, Josh.
Oh, I
no
think
way.
that's how it goes.
You are out of your mind.
She's beloved.
She should be kissing your ass right now.
I mean, even the dogs, I don't even understand it. I come home, the dogs don't even look at me. I'll go over and try and pet them, or one of them I like to wrestle with, but she comes home and it's their entire day has been made.
Well, who feeds them?
Okay, she feeds them.
Bingo.
Yes, they're feeding them.
Dana, why do you say that?
I'm at work in the morning, and then at night I just let her do it.
Feel that.
Yeah, what the hell? Guy, he works all day.
That's what
Dana, why is your mother the one who stood out, which makes her the one who settled?
Kind of the same way, actually, like we just talked about. I think she's more of like the social butterfly. My dad is, he'd be content on the golf course or just watching a ball game. Or my mom loves socializing, loves going out, loves, hanging out with people.
I haven't met your mom, but your dad, I met your dad.
Yeah.
Your dad was nice enough to come to one of my son's football games.
That's true.
He was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's nothing against my dad, but that was my gut instinct, first of all, was that my mom settled.
Yeah.
Well, just because someone's outgoing and likes to party doesn't mean they had a lot going for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Like my dad's like them, but I feel like my dad settled.
Hell yes, your dad settled. So did mine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my dad settled. He had a sweet mustache.
He had a mustache.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. He had a mustache?
Yeah, he had a mustache.
Better than your mom's?
Yeah. And he had a boiler license.
A what?
A boiler license.
They don't just hand those out, Waffle.
Nope, you have to take a test and pass.
You have to take a test. They don't hand those out on the sidewalk.
Does she have a boiler license?
No, she does not.
Oh, weird, isn't
it?
This is going to be tough for me to say, and I don't want to agree with this person because I love more anxiety than hair Jesus. He's a handsome guy. I don't buy the anxiety thing because he's very outgoing. I really enjoy spending time with him. And he puts up with the dumb things I bring up. But he said, same here. My fiance absolutely 100% settled for me. And I hate to say it, but I think he's right. Have you seen her?
No, I haven't.
She's an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Waffle, you can back me up on that.
Yep.
She settled. Oh, man.
I don't know their situation.
And any girl would be lucky to have him, except for her. She settled.
I don't know their situation, but I know yours.
Someone said
if it wasn't for you, Josh, your wife wouldn't have a pot to piss in.
Okay, that part might be true. That doesn't mean that I'm not the loser in the relationship.
Someone said my dad settled because he can dig a 6-foot grave like a boss.
Yeah. I bet your mom couldn't even dig a 1-foot grave.
Not at all.
Diesel Jesus, I haven't had time to pre-read this, but it's nice here. Your mom is a very nice lady. That's all. No jokes.
Well, that's nice.
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's more. Oh. Just take it easy.
And I even told her that when I left for work this morning. Now you son of a
God help us all. In every relationship, there's one person that stands out and one that's settled. Let's just face it. I know who I am in that friggin' equation.
Well, now I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, please elaborate.
You'd like me to verbalize?
Yeah, if you don't mind, because which way are we going to go here?
You think you need to hear the answer directly from me?
I wouldn't mind hearing the answer.
I think you already know who I consider myself.
Well, I'd like to hear it simply because I look forward to the text you get from your wife.
The one that stands out.
Oh, sorry,
Jesus.
I almost had a heart attack. I was surprised by the answer.
Hey, dude, I got a boiler's license over here.
I got a mustache.
I got a mustache like a man. I got a mustache like a man. Not one that appears to actually belong to a man.
Drinks all night, shakes all day, Jesus said. My dad settled. Far, far, far away from us. I'm not laughing at your pain. I'm laughing at that.
That's
you
hilarious.
did a great job setting that up.
That's a very well-crafted joke.
He settled miles and miles away from his responsibilities and his children.
I hope he got those cigarettes he went out for.
That's friggin' hilarious.
There's some funny people out there.
Jesus, yeah. Shotgun Messiah texted in. Didn't my dad settle twice? Yes, he did. I forgot about that. He settled for my mother twice. What a sucker. Wow. Well, there you go. It's Mother's Day.
Has your wife texted you yet?
Oh, I have no idea. Let me see my telephone. No.
Nothing
she's
yet.
Probably awake, though, because she knows I'm telling the friggin' truth. She's got things going for her, but there's always one who's settled. And that's me. Me!
Ashley, did you say in your relationship which way it goes?
No, but if you asked him, he would say that I settled.
What if we asked you?
I don't think I settled. No, I think we're about the same.
He's pretty average. You're pretty great.
Thanks, Dana.
Oh, wow. All right. What else is going on? Later on this morning, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will get together on the program, and we've put together a Dad Fights contest for the two of them. I know it's been a little bit of time since we've had the boys go head-to-head, butt-to-butt. Everybody but Dad Fights 166 later on this morning between Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. So there you go. I think we're ready to kick it in the ass, right, Cubby?
That's right.
We might as well take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the Just Capital seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 for ongoing commitment to their workers with initiatives like Sharing Success, which awarded 97% of their teammates additional compensation, nearly all in stock. This is the program's 7th consecutive year, awarding more than $4.8 billion in total. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
We were talking about how it's Mother's Day weekend coming up, and also the Walleye opener. We welcome your Mother's Day shout-outs. You can text us, 651-989-9393. Go ahead if you want to dump a shout-out at your mother, or maybe someone else's mother. Here's a couple that came in. Gamer Jesus texted in to say, my mother is pure evil, and I have nothing good to say about her.
Oh, no.
Death metal hippie Jesus texted in to say, my mom is effing insane and my dad left her for a younger woman. Lives in Brainerd Jesus texted. I was asking earlier, with women's sports accelerating the way it is lately, were any of our mothers athletes? Lives in Brainerd Jesus says, my mom wasn't an athlete, but man, when she had the belt in her hand, I swear she was trying to qualify for something.
I don't know that my mom ever... Well, maybe my mom did give us the brush once or twice. My dad was usually the one that would put out a good whooping. But I think maybe mom did once or twice.
Yeah.
Well, QC Sheesa said her mom can ride a motorcycle. That's a pretty cool trick.
That's badass.
Yeah, that's cool.
Does your mom ride, Ashley?
She did when my dad used to.
Okay.
She would just hop on the back of his bike, but I don't think she's ever drove one by herself.
So she did not ride it. She rode on a motorcycle.
Yeah, yep. She would just ride bitch with my dad.
All right. Yeah, that's very different for the record, because ask me if I've ever flown a plane.
Josh, have you ever piloted an airplane?
Yeah, I've been on a lot of trips.
You have?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, like the pilot, he'd be flying the plane.
Right.
And then I would ride in the back.
You're seated in a chair. You have nothing to do with the controls of the airplane.
Yeah, and I'd sit where the poor people sit. That's where I'd be.
That's different.
Yeah.
When my mother was young, she was quite a dangerous character on one of those snowmobiles. My folks were big snowmobilers in the 60s and the 1970s. We had some adventures. It was always interesting to me, especially when I got older and I was able to think back and say, wow, they went through a lot of beer before they fired up those snowmobiles.
So you say was your mom good at it, or it was just scary? She was bad at it and it was always kind of scary.
It depended on the day. She sells herself. This actually just came up recently. She says, I was never very good at it, but I saw some things. I saw her take some chances. I can't say if she really knew what she was doing.
Like it might have been an accident.
But it was impressive to watch.
Some of the coolest things I've ever done on a BMX bike were on accident. But, of course, I wouldn't tell my friends that, when they shower you with praise.
I totally meant to do that.
I have to say it again. Probably the wildest thing I ever saw as a little kid when we'd go on these snowmobile trips with my folks. It was usually 6, 8 adults and then a handful of kids. And they'd tow us in a sleigh behind one of the snowmobiles. There we would be in this kind of Christmassy looking sleigh. And it was just, like I said, they would clean out a couple cases of beer and then, hey, let's take the kids cross country on the snowmobile. The 70s, it was lawless. But anyway, I'll never forget, one of my uncles was an absolute wild man on a sled. And I remember riding in the sleigh and all the adults are ahead of us, whipping across this empty field. And suddenly my uncle, the crazy one, the leader of the pack, he disappeared. And I remember as a little kid thinking, well, where did Uncle Donnie go? What had happened was Uncle Donnie was going so damn fast and had so many Hohensteins in him that he drove into the foundation of a house.
That could leave a mark.
Yeah.
And broke pretty much every bone in his body. God, those were great days.
Couple more shout-outs to moms from the Brother and Sisterhood. Sky welder, ironworker Jesus wants to shout out his mom, Heidi, who beat cancer this year.
Heck yeah.
Goat Truck and Jesus. Happy Mother's Day to my pumpkin-ass wife. Been driving to Colorado all night. Can I give a Mother's Day shout-out to Kimbersaurus Rex Shegis from Carpet Cleaning Jesus? And Wisconsin Blind Guy Jesus said his mom was a runner when you were talking about, if our parents were athletes. She left when he was 10 and just kept running. Oh, no.
Sorry to laugh at those, but they're good.
How about the guy that referred to his wife as a pumpkin ass?
Pumpkin ass. His pumpkin ass wife.
Oh. All right. Might as well throw ourselves headlong into today's stupid news report. Go ahead. Keep firing your Mother's Day texts our way. We'll get around to them now and again. It always sucks to see someone who's ended up homeless. And some of these folks have to get creative. Like this here lady in Michigan who ended up living up on the roof of a grocery store. Contractors doing some work at the store found an extension cord up on the roof, and that's where they found a 34-year-old woman who was living inside the business's sign. And I know that doesn't help you. I know I have to explain that for you. So the grocery store is located at a strip mall. The grocery store has a cute name, like a lot of them. The name of the store is Family Fair. Let's go to the Family Fair. And we'll get whatever we need. Okay? There's a little hut-looking structure on the roof of the building that holds that sign that says Family Fair. Inside that hut was where the gal was living out her days for the last year.
Oh, my gosh.
Pretty
that's
impressive
a long time.
that she went that long.
Just a little tiny area. They say here probably 5 foot wide and 8 foot high. It had a door. The only way to get up there is to first climb your ass up onto the roof of the building. Inside the little hut, the gal had created enough space for, this is nicer than most of our, the gal had a computer. A computer? Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Shiz.
The gal had enough space for a computer, a printer. Oh, Christ, be careful with those printers. She had a damned coffee maker up in there. She had some food. She'd laid down some type of flooring. There was a house plant.
She really made it cozy.
She's done more for that little area than I have at my house.
She had what they call here a mini desk. Her clothes were in there. She was able to get electricity, like I said, through that extension cord. The story didn't indicate where she was sleeping, but there you go. She had pert near every damn thing you need. The cops were called. The woman, right away, she said, as soon as the cops walked in, she said, "Don't worry, I'm leaving."
Yeah, I know.
So she must have seen him coming, from the roof.
Just let me get my printer, my mini desk, my houseplant, my computer, my printer, and I'll be on my way.
God dang, yeah. What did she do? Put all that on her back? I mean, she had a lot of stuff. It's kind of an interesting story, aside from what I've already told you, because she told police that she has a job. It doesn't say anywhere in the story why she wasn't just, say, renting an apartment as opposed to living up on the roof of a friggin' grocery store. The cops believed that she had a car.
I suppose, it's just crazy expensive for housing now. You described the dimensions of that. I was trying to think of, you hear stories about San Francisco or New York where that would cost you $2,000 a month to get that much space. Just something ridiculous.
Have you guys ever fell down the rabbit hole of these kind of videos where someone is unhoused and they find these small little spaces, like in the sign, where they make these elaborate homes?
Well, there's one that comes to mind, and I believe it's a story that we covered here on the Stupid News. The dude who lived in a strip mall for 15 years or something, and no one knew he was there.
Yeah, that stuff is so cool to me, Eric. It's just crazy.
I want to say it was a massive strip. Did I say strip mall? I didn't mean to say that. Like a Mall of America. A massive
mall.
Shop. That's the word. I believe it was maybe Japan. Massive shopping mall.
I think it was Japan.
And the place was so big that even the overnight security guys who worked there every damn night, they didn't check every nook and cranny of the place because it was massive. And some dude had it was a gorgeous setup underneath a flight of stairs or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a full one-bedroom apartment, basically.
There's a bunch of women down there. He was... Again, up on the roof of a grocery store. There was no sign of a ladder. So it was anybody's guess how in the hell this lady was climbing up onto the roof every day. And because of that, some folks in town took to calling her the rooftop ninja.
That's pretty sweet. Now she's got a cool name.
What did she do, Cubby? Did she just parkour her way up onto the roof or what?
Yeah, just shimmied up somehow. That's pretty cool. I'd love to have, a nickname with ninja in it. That's cool. That's why I suppose it could probably be used sarcastically.
The masturbation ninja.
Yeah, you ruined it.
Sorry.
I mean, this sounds like a perfect setup, like when we were kids, you had to have a fort. Man, we had the coolest fort in the county. And we were probably way too old to have a fort, but it was where we could take drugs and drink alcohol.
Yeah, forts were sweet.
I mean, we had it was so elaborate, there was an underground entrance. The fort was above ground, but the entrance was underground.
That's sweet.
Yo, that is cool.
That is cool.
I would have loved that.
We built a trap. We built a pitfall so that those who didn't belong would fall into our pit. What do you want to call it? In the movies where the person falls down and there's spikes at the bottom. What do you call that? I'll just go ahead with pitfall. We camouflaged this hole in the ground to swallow up the suckers who didn't belong. Underground entrance. Only 4 guys had a key. It was locked. And we kept drugs and alcohol and porno movies in there.
There was a buddy of mine who had a tree house, which I thought was awesome. And it was a perfect tree fort. His dad built this thing, and it kept adding on. It had lights, everything.
Oh, wow.
It was so cool.
The city eventually made us tear the fort down because it wasn't to code. I mean, we had what do you call those things? A power strip in there so we could watch television and friggin' listen to a radio. One of our buddies who had dropped out of school was living there.
Oh, whoa.
Yes, he was.
Whoa.
He had been thrown out of his parents' home and he was living there.
Living in the fort.
And the cops one day, it's whatever, it's noon on a Wednesday, and there's music coming out of this little square structure. And the cops, we got to find out what's going on in there. They knock on the door, and there's my buddy, my homeless 15-year-old friend who had been thrown out of his parents' house. And the cop, I don't, maybe he had to be there, but the cops said, "You got quite a setup here." And he's like, "Yeah, I know."
You guys want to come in?
And this is the line that, okay, maybe you had to know the guy and maybe you had to be there, but the cop said, "Well, why aren't you in school?" And he said, "Oh, dude, yeah, school, yeah, I forgot."
That's where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, right.
But it wasn't to code, so we had to tear it down. Oh, it was a sad day.
That sounds awesome.
You guys pouring out beer.
All right, airplane rides continue to provide entertaining moments. On a Southwest Airlines plane trip, some lady climbed on up into the overhead bins and took a little nappy nap.
Looks comfy. This is up on 93x.com.
Yeah, thank you. There's a video going around. You can see it on our website. And yeah, it did look fairly comfortable if, in fact, you can fit your carcass in a spot like that. I don't think most of us could.
Not a lot of leg room.
Nope. I've thought about it before.
Have you really?
Yeah, just like, looking around the plane, like, gosh, where's a place where you could actually stretch out a little bit?
Well, you can't stretch out there. I mean, looking at the photo, she's got to be a bit of a contortionist. I'm assuming this is some sort of stunt for social media, not just a lady that decided to take a nap. It's got to be, right?
I don't know. The story doesn't say if this was a flight attendant or just a random moron, but there they went.
She wasn't in a uniform or anything.
Okay. They went up into the overhead thingy, and it says here they were trying to get some sleep. But sure, it easily could have been a look at me, I'm on social media gimmick. The story says she's not the first to make this move, and I imagine, sure, not by a long shot. There have been a couple other videos that have made the rounds in the last few years where folks crawled up on into the overhead bin ski. What's the most interesting place you ever slept? What was the setup?
I curled up on a washer-dryer side-by-side type of thing. They're two top loaders,
Sure.
And I was very intoxicated in St. Cloud, and I just thought, well, that looks like a okay place to curl up and try to fall asleep.
And you know what it was, I bet also, Dana? The only dry spot in the house.
Pretty much. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I remember being impressed one night. My brother's house at St. Cloud State was just disgusting. I mean, the place I lived in wasn't anything cute either, but my brother's place was just disgusting. And by the end of most of the keg parties, there was not a single dry spot anywhere. Couches, all the floors, of course, soaked in beer and booze. Sometimes folks would take a whiz or puke. Anyway, one night I came up the stairs. Big beer party was just coming to an end. And one of my bros was asleep underneath the foosball table. And I remember thinking, well, that's an odd spot. And then it dawned on me. That's the only dry spot in the entire house.
Yeah, it's true.
Underneath the pool, how did I say it? The foosball table. I once slept on the roof of my garage. At times growing up, well, still to this day, I have terrible time sleeping. I have a terrible time sleeping is how I should have said that. I just don't sleep as well as I wished. And one night, I couldn't get comfortable anywheres, so I brought a blanket and a pillow up onto the roof of the garage. And I crashed.
Dangerous.
I fell asleep outside, I guess, but it was just like in a lawn chair. But nothing too crazy.
And I got to tell you about this one too, one of the most innovative things I've ever seen in my life. This was a hotel party, big hotel party. We were 17 or 18 years old. And by the end of the night, there's bodies covering every inch of the place.
Yep.
The beds are filled, the floors are filled with bodies. Big Al. By God, we'll be getting together tonight, Big Al and I will. Had such an innovative move. This is how he slept. He tilted a chair, like a wooden, classroom chair, not a comfortable chair. Josh, he tilted it back up against the wall and used a basketball for a pillow.
Oh, smart.
So the basketball was between the wall and his skull.
He's like the MacGyver of slumber parties.
That's and of course, you're 17, 18. You can actually wake up the next day and feel pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He tilted back in a chair and used a basketball for a pillow. I thought, that is...
He's got Spalding backwards on his head.
Yeah. And he went out the next day, scored 3-4 goals in an out-of-town hockey tournament.
God, you're right about getting away with that, because if any of us tried that right now, even for like 5 minutes, we'd be hurting for the rest of the weekend.
This text says, after hours at a hotel bar in Sioux City, Iowa, I woke up the next day in the hotel's linen closet with a wad of cash in my chest pocket. There's a lot that must have happened. I wish you remembered.
Yeah, what led up to that?
We said, okay, Big Al, I hope that basketball was comfortable, because we're going to need you to score 3-4 goals so we can win this tournament over White Bear Lake. And he did. Josh was just saying a day or two ago that he has lived in a spot or two in his day, Josh, where you've had airplanes flying overhead at all hours, right?
Yep.
Airplanes flying.
Right under a flight path.
And like most anything else noise-related, like, say, regular motor vehicle traffic noise, you get used to it.
The only time you really notice is when it's gone, that something seems off.
Right. We get used to it. Unless you're insane, of course. In a place called Perth, which they say here is an Australian town, one individual resident in that town, who I guess lives under a flight path, was responsible for more than 21,000 complaints about aircraft noise just last year. I'm not sure if it was telephone calls or electronic mails or what that this individual was using to constantly bitch about aircraft noise. But there were 21,000, to be exact, 21,716 complaints from one person in a year. That made for 40% of the total aircraft noise complaints made in the entire country of Australia in the year 2023.
That is absolute. How are you not in jail for something like that? That's just insane.
Dude.
Somebody needs to work with this person. No matter how legit this would be, the fact that you made that many complaints.
I agree. My damn. Somebody who was close to this person, help them. Their skull is going to explode. The arithmetic breaks down to this lunatic was making a complaint once every 25 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Or, if you want to look at it this way, 59 complaints a day for an entire year.
My God.
Can you imagine being wound that tight?
Nope. Thank God.
Their head's going to give way, and it's going to explode smooth off their shoulders.
Give them some marijuana or something.
If this was the 80s, you know what we'd give them, Dana? A chill pill.
Chill pill?
Say, hey, take a chill pill.
Dude, they never worked on me. Chill pills. I could go right, All right, speaking of people with real problems, here's a court case. How did I say that? A court case going on in stupid England. A court case involving a lady teacher who apparently had a baby with an underage student whilst, I'm going to keep the English theme here, whilst she was on bail for having sex with a different underage kid. Can you follow that?
She's got a type, and she hates contraception. Hates it.
Had a baby with a student whilst she was on bail for having sex with a different student. Lady.
There's a lady that can learn a lesson right there, huh?
Now, you know that ain't right.
It's disgusting.
What's wrong with you? This effing gal, she's a math teacher by the name of Rebecca Joins. She's 74 years old. I'm kidding. She's 30. She's 30. The story says that she, quote, groomed the first boy by taking him shopping and buying him things. She then drove him back to her apartment for unprotected sex. I'll be damned. Oh, how I would have fallen for her back when I was 15. Oh, how I would have likely killed for her if she asked me to when I was 15.
Yeah, I don't think it would take much, right?
No.
If you're a 15-year-old and your teacher's interested in you.
Now, the first kid, he said in court that she told him, quote, no one had better find out. He said that he never expected the two of them to bump. But he also said, quote, but anyone in my position, you know, when you're my age, if you ever see her, she's good looking, he said. She was later arrested, ordered not to have contact with anyone under 18, and she lost her job. But it wasn't over yet, allegedly. She soon started flirting with another kid, a student of hers. This student sent her Snapchat messages. This kid knew what had happened the first time she got caught banging a 15-year-old, and it sounds like this intrigued him. He asked her on that Snapchat setup, he asked her to show him her boobs. She said, not tonight. But instead, she sent him a picture of her ass. The kid said, as a young kid, I thought I was in there. I thought she liked me. She had sent me pictures of her body.
Yeah, I would assume that the person was fond of me in some way if they'd be willing to share something like that.
Especially when you're 15.
Yep.
He was invited to her house. He says that was awkward at first. He said she was probably nervous because she didn't want to get caught. And I was nervous because I was meeting up with someone double my age. They went ahead with some kissing on the couch before going off to teacher's room for sex. The kid said that was the first time, and since then, he said they hooked up at least 30 times.
Man.
And Miss Joins eventually became pregnant and had a daughter with the second dude. She denies having sex with him before he turned 16, which is the age of consent. She's denying this, she's denying that as well. It's all very ugly and uncomfortable and a total effing disaster.
You'd think during the court proceedings, maybe you wouldn't be quite that horny, or if you were, you could avoid putting yourself in the same situation. I think I'd be a nervous wreck. I mean, I obviously would never do something like this, but if I was involved in a court proceeding, I think it had nothing to do with sex. There's no way I'd have any interest in that.
Oh, my God.
But good for her. Oh, yeah, she's starting a family.
I mean, just what in the living hell is wrong with you?
My daughter's going to have questions someday.
And you know, when I saw pictures of the gal, I don't know, there's just something about some people. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but the look on her face in the pictures that I saw of her instantly tells me she doesn't get it. Like she's got something going on in her brain that ain't all there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She's got a look on her face that tells me that there's something wrong.
Yeah, she does kind of have a look like, what's everybody's problem? For the record, I usually do judge a book by its cover.
You do?
Not necessarily in the metaphorical way, but if I'm at a library or something, if the cover looks stupid, I will avoid it.
100%. Yep. There's like a specific type of font that I stay away from.
Yeah, if it looks cheesy or something.
Yep.
If somebody approved that, I don't know what they put in the pages of that thing. I'm not reading it.
It could be the best book ever. And I'm like, no, not for me.
Yep, pretty much every time.
All right, what the hell else is going on? God. I guess if you want to be a sex worker, Belgium is the spot. By God, Belgium. They've become the first country in the world to approve a labor law on employment contracts for sex workers. Now, let me see if I can explain this properly. I don't know a hell of a lot about how this stuff works, so I'll do my best. It says here now, under the new law, and there's so much to cover here, if a prostitute refuses a client more than 10 times over 6 months, a pimp can trigger an intervention by a government mediator but cannot fire the prostitute. I'm not sure what I just told you.
I'm not positive.
You got to show up for work.
What's that now?
You got to show up for work. You can't keep calling in sick or whatever's going on.
Oh, that's what that means. Okay. Oh, if a prostitute misses enough time, he, the pimp, she, could be a she pimp, can trigger an... I don't know why that didn't dawn on me.
Yeah, so it's saying, you can't fire them. You got to go through a mediator.
Okay.
I mean, so there's a mutual respect between pimp and lady of the night.
There you go. That's well done. I could not wrap my skull around that.
So they're protected from being fired from it, is the gist, but there's going to be some trouble.
Okay. Sex workers are entitled to health insurance, pensions, unemployment, family benefits, holiday and maternity leave. I'll be damned. It's just like what most folks would call a regular job. One effing dude involved in this new ruling said Belgium aims to protect sex workers regardless of any moral judgments about the profession that people might have.
My neighbors are fresh out of Belgium. They just moved here last summer. They lived there for 4 or 5 years. I'll have to ask the dad about things like this, his experience with sex workers.
You should.
There.
Oh, I bet he's got stories.
I'd be very interested to hear what he knows about the sex worker setup. They're straight out of Belgium. You know where I'm straight out of?
Is it Compton?
Straight out of Low Cash. Crazy
Low Cash.
mother effer called Dead Mike. Gonna take you on a long hike. What the hell was the other guy? Oh, yeah. Straight out of Low Cash. Crazy mother effer named Gusto. CB4?
I've never seen the movie, but I'm familiar with it.
If you listen to the song, trust me, I've seen this happen. I love CB4 starring Chris Rock. If you listen to the song Straight Outta Low Cash, you will be singing it to yourself for a smooth month.
Oh, we've played it. I'm familiar with the song.
It's filthy, but I cannot stop. All day long now, I'm going to be saying Straight Outta Low Cash, Crazy Mother Effer, and then Gusto. I can't. It's hard to do it without saying the actual mother effer. You get tongue-tied.
Is the movie worth watching, or should I just stick to the soundtrack?
I love it.
I mean, I love Chris Rock.
Yeah. Chris Elliott's in it.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Who else is in it? Chris Rock's the only one I can think of.
Charlie Murphy?
Oh, yeah. Charlie
is he?
Murphy.
Oh, okay.
Straight Outta Low Cash.
See, where can I watch that? CB4.
Let's find out more about these prostitutes in Belgium. They've got a whole new setup over there. Sex workers are entitled to carry out a sexual act how they wish. All right, remember this now. You can't tell the sex worker how you want the BJ to go. They make the rules on the BJ.
Mm-hmm.
They can refuse to sit behind the Amsterdam-style windows, which are also used in Belgium. They can say, no, I'm not going to dance around in the window. And there are all kinds of other businessy type rights that prostitutes have now. Like I said, regular job type things. There's no real need to get into that. The law does not cover, though, pornographic actors, strippers, or webcam performers. What?
I'm sure this will spark something.
This goes on forever. Pimps must have a registered office in Belgium.
That's cool.
You go to one of those big buildings, and there's a dentist office over here, there's an insurance company over there, and then there's a pimp hut.
I'd love to see the names they come up with.
Yeah.
I'd love to see their coat closet with all those canes and big hats and stuff in it. Dana, did you know we got a guy running around Egan that dresses like a pimp?
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I saw him once, and I thought it was just a dude dressing up to be funny or something. I mentioned it, and people who live in the area like, yeah, I see that guy all the time. That's his thing.
That's his day-to-day thing?
I've seen that guy. He's cool.
Oh, I've only seen him the once. I want to see him more. Yeah, he is cool.
He's swagged out.
Every pimp must provide the sex worker with an alarm button, like an OSH button, in case they need help.
You know, I wonder if this will ever catch on elsewhere. I'd imagine, it'd probably take forever if it ever does show up here, but I'd imagine.
Why the hell not? Why the hell not, right?
If they're willing and this is what they want to do and everybody can be as safe as possible.
Yeah, if that's what they want to do and it's all about safety and, making a real living, who gives a pump?
Mm-hmm.
All the prostitutes will have a security friend, like a bouncer to hang out with them. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Straight out of low cash. What a wonderful...
You sound like Butters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you know what I am saying?
Do you know what I am saying?
Isn't it a wonderful and fascinating world that we live in?
It really is.
In the song Straight Outta Low Cash, MC Gusto talks about how he effed our sisters and he effed our cats.
Oh my gosh.
I know. They just don't write songs like that anymore.
It's poetic.
They don't. They just... we got to take a break. Sports is next.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Mother's Day is just around the corner. And while your mother enjoys all the traditional gifts like cards and flowers, you can take pride in knowing that your gift was the most thoughtful of all. A stripper pole with erotic dance moves like the upside-down spinner, the naked grab and twirl, and everyone's favorite, the slow spiral slide. Tassels, high heels, and anti-squeak disinfectant sold separately.
What do you think of my new silicone implants?
Mother's Day weekend. Mother's Day's on Sunday. We keep getting text messages, too. We appreciate it, folks. Texting in with a shout-out for Mother's Day. 651-989-9393 is the number to get a hold of us. Like this one right here, Josh, from retired rigger Jesus. Earlier we were talking about, which of our mothers were athletes back in the day? Retired rigger Jesus says, my mother wasn't much of a wrestler in high school, but, man, you should see her box. We appreciate your messages. Again, 651-989-9393. Oh, there's a big ball game in town tonight, isn't there, Josh?
It's electric.
There's a big ball.
Downtown Minneapolis.
I might flip out.
Pretty excited?
I've been known to flip out.
Yeah.
In 91, when the North Stars were in the Stanley Cup final, I was so stressed out, and I got so stinking drunk one night watching them play the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Stanley Cup final, that I tried to beat up one of my best friends.
Oh, no.
He walked into the beer party. He had no idea why, but I went after him. I was going to beat the living hell out of him.
I remember the excitement around that, and I would think that he understood.
Oh, God.
If there was ever a time to understand just a unprovoked beating at your expense, that would be it.
It was terrible. Really, it was. The next morning, when I woke up and people told me what I had done, I couldn't even believe it myself. I was just so stressed out and so drunk that my friend walked up and said, he walked into the beer party and said, hey, hell of a hockey game, huh? And I attacked him.
Yeah, if you broke my coccyx out of nowhere today, I would understand. I'd actually embrace it. It's that exciting.
I'm not in good shape. I'm not. The Twins got a win last night. We'll talk about that. Of course, the Wolves and the hockey and the this and the that. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be here in about a half hour. And we have put together a fresh dad fights competition for the two of them. We'll get going with that as well. Hey, back to the Twins. Word life to the dude with the Brotherhood sign at the Twins game a night or two ago.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was so cool.
That was really cool.
Someone sent us a picture of a dude in the stands a night or two ago at the Twins game, and he had a sign. He drew up a sign about the rally sausage, and he also put a little hashtag Brotherhood word life to that kind of. We appreciate that. Thanks, bruh. Josh's news is coming up.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, The Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
Let's hear another success story. This one comes to us from Stacker Derek.
You guys are the best, and it's because of you I now understand retirement accounts, money in general, and how poorly the guests are treated when they show up. I really don't know where I would be without you. Thank you for $1,500, and here's to another $1,500 if Doug can survive that long without pay.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
I still can't feel half of my face. I can't feel nothing. I'm scared that there's going to be some kind of damage permanent. I've never been so numb to where my face feels like it's a mask.
An irate Subway customer went ballistic on a group of workers for not putting enough meat on his sub. Then he gave the manager a knuckle sandwich on his way out. General Manager Monique Larios was called into work after her employees argued with a customer over not enough ham. That customer, identified as George Sandoval, claimed he paid for double the meat of what was put on it. He demanded workers put on 12 extra slices of ham on his sandwich.
That's more than double, bro.
But he only paid for 6, which the store had proof of. Sandoval then walked around the counter and unleashed a barrage of punches on Larios.
I did not expect this. He comes around the corner. I go, what are you going to do, hit me over ham? And he hit me. All I could remember is just black.
He did hit her over ham.
Wow.
At 4'11", Larios didn't stand a chance. The ham man, 6'5", 400 pounds.
I did not deserve this. I was in there just doing my job. The sandwich was made to where our Subway standards. He didn't even give me a chance to try to figure it out. What did he want?
As Sandoval launched his attack, a quick-thinking customer rushed to the worker's aid and jumped on the attacker's back, striking him in the face at least 3 times, allowing the workers to run to safety.
You probably could have subsided this dude by just shoving some meat into his mouth, you know what I mean? It'd be like giving a baby a pacifier.
Sandoval was arrested later that day.
6'5", 4 bills. Here he comes.
I guess it's a woman that's 4'11".
I hope this sumbitch just gets...
Over 6 slices of ham is what it ended up being.
I used to get so much crap when I worked at a sandwich shop for, like, what I put on the sandwich. But sandwich places, they give you, like, the exact amount of everything. Like, 6 pickles, 6 cucumbers. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Do you want more? You're going to have to ask.
Yeah, this guy.
Pay for it.
This guy, there's a lot of anger out there. And sometimes you wait to find somebody much, much smaller than you and beat them up for no reason. That's how it goes. A Florida woman was arrested earlier this week after investigators said she tried to hire a hitman over her son's murder conviction. This is quite the family. Police learned from a confidential informant, a woman, at the time only identified as Maria, had been asking about hiring a hitman to kill 2 witnesses responsible for having her son sent to prison. Well, technically the son is responsible, but the witnesses helped put him away.
Sure.
Detectives discovered Maria was actually 43-year-old Josefina Cardona. Her 16-year-old son Manuel was found guilty earlier this year in a June 2022 murder when he was only 14 years old. In that case, investigators said Manuel stabbed a man who had been trying to break up a fight at a birthday party, a 5-year-old's birthday party. Cardona and his parents had reportedly gone to the party uninvited, and an argument broke out between 2 other guests over a romantic affair. When the victim tried to intervene, Cardona's father punched him, prompting the victim to defend himself. Manuel then stabbed the victim, and both Cardona and his parents beat the man on the ground before fleeing the scene, as loving families do. Manuel was ultimately sentenced to 15 years in prison, and Maria wanted the witnesses dead. Cardona, who believed that the agent was a hitman for hire, explained she'd pay $8,000 for their murders, asking the agent to shoot one of them in the body so it can be painful and so they could think about it because, quote, a mother shouldn't be without her son.
The circumstances, had they been different and it was not reported and an undercover agent became involved, the likelihood is 2 people would have been dead.
A mother should not be without her son, something she wasn't thinking about for their victims' mothers, apparently.
Yeah.
That's something she's holding on to. She's real committed to that one.
That was much more of a self-centered statement than we really understood at first, right?
Yeah,
I shouldn't be without my son. Everyone else just fine.
Yeah, other moms, not my
Right.
problem. She was arrested on Monday.
Boy, that's a hell of a deal right there, Josh.
Yeah. The Department of Homeland Security has initiated an investigation following the revelation an Ohio Police Department bought counterfeit body armor from China for its SWAT team. The department is faced with the task of replacing 40 plates costing a total of $52,000. Apparently, the sale of counterfeit body armor originated from China, and it's not a new issue in the United States. In 2021, a Texas individual pleaded guilty to peddling Chinese-made military helmets, body armor, and other products to various federal agencies, including the United States Department of State, under the guise of American-made merchandise.
I buy counterfeit sports jerseys from China, but I think if I needed body armor, I'd go with the real deal.
You'd want a name brand?
Yeah, I think I'd want the actual known brand.
I could tell you, so a buddy of mine, he was losing his hair and didn't want that to happen so badly. He bought some cheap, like a Rogaine alternative from China, and it affected his mental status or state. It made him start to go goofy. Right.
Wow.
So, and they figured it out. It's like, well, what are you doing? You got all this chemicals seeping into your brain because from using this. And by the way, his hair never came back either.
Of course it did.
That's effing frightening.
I know.
That's frightening. What the hell are you doing?
I guess it's expensive to pay for the real stuff. And he was getting a bargain.
You want to go bald? You want to go insane? Which one do you choose?
A Colorado woman's attempt to steal a pickup truck, shortly after she was released from jail on a car theft charge, by the way, was thwarted not by officers, not by the truck's owners, but her inability to drive a stick shift.
Another one of those.
Yeah, cops always call a stick or manual transmission the most effective theft prevention system. The woman has been released from jail on Friday. She was accused of stealing a car a day earlier. She walked down the road right after her release and spotted a pickup truck with the keys inside. She started it up, but soon discovered she couldn't manage the manual, so she got out and walked away, leaving the truck to roll forward and strike a fire hydrant, which drew police attention. She now faces new charges of motor vehicle theft, careless driving, and driving without a license, plus failing to report the crash. Police titled their social media post about the case, Stick Shift FTW. It is amazing how many people don't know how to drive a stick now. But, it's tough to get. I mean...
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not as common anymore?
No, not at all.
I remember when I got rid of my first manual, I wanted a manual to replace it, and it was so hard. Like, every place I checked, if they had any, they only had one.
I didn't know they were making less and less of them.
Yeah. A North Carolina woman said she's managing a financial headache after she left her credit card at a restaurant. Rhonda Deaver is a regular at Smith's Cafe. Last week, she accidentally left her credit card behind after paying. Attempting to find her, an employee of the cafe took photos of the card front and back and then posted them to Facebook. Major brain fart.
God dang.
The full card number was visible. They didn't edit anything out, so it was easy for lowlifes to make a number of charges.
It had been used a whole lot of declines, but a whole lot that went through. I live on a fixed income. There's not like there's extra money every month to cover those bills that somebody else charged on my card.
Okay, was that the exact speaking voice of Kenny's mom from South Park? Was that a voice actress we just heard, and she's rich off of portraying Kenny's mom on South Park?
Well, she says she's not rich. The caption said, "Hey guys, Mrs. Rhonda Deaver, you left your card here at the store. If you know her, let her know we have it and would love to make sure it's returned. We've placed it in a secure location." Yeah, online for everyone to see. Deaver said her family immediately called her when they saw the post, but it was too late. Over $2,000 in charges hit her account.
I couldn't believe that they did that, but I was sick thinking that I might be responsible for all those charges.
Her bank closed the account, but she's still in the process of disputing the charges. Hopefully the bank helps her out. I think a lot of times
Pain in the ass, huh, Josh?
Yeah, that sucks.
Pain in the ass.
Few things in theaters this week. I'm sorry, one thing in theaters this week, but there's a lot to watch. After a trilogy of movies in the Planet of the Apes reboot series, we jump ahead a few generations with a fourth entry into the rebooted franchise, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's been almost 7 years since we last checked in on those damn dirty apes, and the latest installment takes place 100 years after the last film, where the apes are in charge as the human population dwindles.
In their time, humans were capable of many great things. They could fly, they could speak across oceans. But now, it is our time, and it is my kingdom.
Saw a lot of good reviews on this one.
Cubby, answer me something. What is it about talking monkeys that draws me in every damn time?
I watch all those movies. Was it War of the... One of them I really, really liked. I think it was War of the Planet of the Apes.
I can't tell one from the other, but I'm telling you, when talking monkeys are on my television, I'm going to stick around for a little while.
Yeah, I'm glad this is getting such good reviews.
Can I ask you about another movie?
Please.
Because I saw an advertisement for a movie, and it's not very often that I say to myself, well, I'll be damned, I'd like to see that one. But it was some kind of movie connected to the Stranglers. What was that one? The Strangers.
Strangers?
You know what I'm talking about? The Strangers. Was it Liv Tyler?
Yeah. That movie was
right. Scary
creepy.
Movie.
Yeah.
One of the few really actual scary movies of the last 30 years.
Yeah, it'll give you the heebie-jeebies.
I saw they're coming up with another one of those. Did you see that ad?
No.
The Strangers, Chapter 1. It's in theaters now.
Heck yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Well,
any of the original well, I suppose you might not know. It's Liv Tyler in it.
They're all dead. No, everyone died.
So it's not but it's Chapter 1. I was picturing a prequel. Is it a prequel?
It must be, yes.
Yeah. So she's... Anybody we recognize?
No, not at all.
The ad is just one lady in a shower and then some psycho in a mask watching her shower. Or maybe that was my reflection. But anyway, where am I going with this? It must suck then, since it's already in theaters and we haven't heard dick about it.
That's got to be the case.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I haven't read one thing.
Wait. May 16th it's in theaters.
Son of a bitch, dude. We're live. All right?
It came out in L.A. on May 8th. It's in theaters nationwide on May 17th. It comes out next week.
Wait, is that different than the one that Wapple just gave? Everybody's giving us different dates.
Let's just move on.
You could go see it, Rosedale, May 16th at 7 o'clock.
I'll be there.
There's a bunch that start Thursday.
Ashley's not going to be there. She said she's going to be there. She's not. Nick, that was not you in the reflection. I don't remember the last time you've only had one girl in your shower.
Oh!
There's no way that was you. A few things coming to streaming this weekend, including Eileen, which is on Hulu. In 1964, Massachusetts, a young secretary becomes enchanted by Rebecca, the glamorous new counselor at the prison where she works. Their budding friendship soon takes a twisted turn when Rebecca reveals a dark secret.
This young lady is our new prison psychologist. She may be easy on the eyes, but I assure you, she is very smart.
Prison is no place for a young lady. You got a big life ahead of you, I'm sure. Secrets and lies, the only way out's for someone to die.
And Nick's pick for 2023's Movie of the Year, The Iron Claw, makes its streaming premiere today on Max. Tomorrow on HBO and Max, Nikki Glazer dives into a wide range of topics, including why she doesn't want kids, the harsh realities of aging, her sexual fantasies, and plans for her own death in her new comedy special, Someday You'll Die.
I've never wanted kids. I think some moms think that if you don't have kids, you're a selfish person. And I get that. I just don't feel like devoting my free time to something that could marry a DJ. I just think that's reckless.
Hey! On Netflix tomorrow, comics gather to honor and roast Kevin Hart as he accepts the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in a ceremony.
I can't think of much Kevin Hart could do for me. I don't want to be in Jumanji.
He's in a movie with The Rock. My last name's Rock.
One of the GOATs of the game. Whatever it is, he's in it.
Kevin Hart!
Maya Rudolph hosts Saturday Night Live with musical guest Vampire Weekend, and then Sunday on AMC and AMC Plus, if you like vampires, the Season 2 premiere of Interview with the Vampire. Tony Hawk, 56 on Sunday.
Dude, no way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's almost 60. That's crazy.
It can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Randy Shaver's pick for one of the greatest of all time. Tomorrow, Cam Newton will be 35. Turning 46 today, Kenan Thompson. As always, I want to apologize because I know we miss a lot of texts. Sometimes people yell at us. It's certainly not on purpose. They come in fast, especially Fridays. They come in fast. So I'm going to read the text I have, and I apologize if I missed yours. Happy 29th to Sass Master Jesus on Sunday from her hubby, Holl in Your Wood Jesus. Plays with Wood Jesus text in a shout out to the 100 barbecue teams cooking this weekend in St. Peter for the 25th anniversary of the Minnesota Barbecue Society. Oh, I bet it's going to smell good in there.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats to Morgan and Trent getting married tomorrow from your bro and soon-to-be bro-in-law, Bad Company Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Coming up next, we've got Dad Fights 166.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
I love this dude. I mean, this dude is electric.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay, moving on.
I hope that's not live.
Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Hey, have either of you ever heard that sound before? The sound of a woman in the throes of sexual pleasure?
It's quite a way to start the conversation today.
Oh, I have many, many times. I lived in a townhome complex, and the guy two doors down would really give it to his lady. I told you before, there was one time I didn't know if I should call the cops or give him a round of applause because I didn't know if he was murdering her or giving her the best night of her life.
He was really giving her hell,
Turns out it was the second one.
Yeah, something weird happened during Luca Doncic's post-game press conference while he was speaking to the media.
I just watched this about 15 minutes ago online. The look on his face.
Nick and I were just talking about that. You could just
so funny.
The video's good just seeing his reaction.
Yeah.
Doncic has a look at first of concern, then confusion, and then
realization.
Oh, I know what that is.
It's absolutely wonderful video. Suddenly there was the sound of a woman experiencing sexual pleasure. Did we ever find out, was it a teammate playing a prank on him?
I haven't seen a follow-up. It's got to be, right? Somebody messing around.
Somebody accidentally fired up a porno movie on their cell phone?
Maybe it's somebody's ringtone.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Their phone went off. Anybody mind if we play it again? I'm sorry. This is the sound of a woman in great pleasure.
Yes.
Just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think?
That's outstanding. That's outstanding.
I saw some speculation that somebody maybe disconnected from Bluetooth or something, maybe.
That could be. Wapple has an experience like that, don't you, Wapple?
Oh, yes, I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were, me and my buddies, we were partying at our house, and it was time to go to bed. I was in charge of music that night, so I had my phone hooked up to the Bluetooth speaker, went to bed, and, kind of did things to myself.
Oh, you could have just said, watched a movie.
Yeah, and
the kid is he's disgusting.
Everyone heard the noises over the Bluetooth speaker.
Did things to myself.
Junior.
Yeah.
Hey, it wasn't that bad.
What kind of video was it? Do you recall?
Oh, I have no idea that.
It was like, oh, Mrs. Wessel. Oh, Mrs.
Just for the record, last night, Luca Doncic's Dallas Mavericks beat Oklahoma City by 9 points, so that series is squared away at 1 win apiece. Yes, Randy?
That's a big win, boy.
I can barely hear you. Are you lying down?
Yeah, I can barely hear him, too.
I am here.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
A little bit better.
You sounded like you were leaning far away from the... and then in the other series we got going last night, kind of looked like Boston would crush Cleveland. But Cleveland got a win and a convincing one last night. So that series also squared away at 1.
I would not have guessed that last night in Boston.
Boston dropped the second game of their first series, too, and then came back and won the next 3. So we'll see.
The biggest pro basketball game in the Twin Cities in 20 years is scheduled to happen tonight at around 8:30 or so. Yep. Game 3 of the Wolves-Nuggets semifinal. She's supposed to get going again around 8:30 or so down there at Target Center. If you're going, by damn, you paid a heavy price to get there.
Yes, you did.
Crowd is chanting how many games they think it'll take to eliminate the Denver. Let's hope the Wolves' performance on the court can match the excitement and intoxication level of the home crowd. The Wolves have a shot to make this an impossible situation for the defending champions.
Right.
And if they can keep playing defense the way they did in Game 2, then they have an excellent chance to win the ball game. What do you see happening tonight, boys?
I guess from how I've seen Denver the first 2 games, I don't see any reason to think that the Wolves won't win tonight, too. I mean, they haven't given me any indication that they've got a pulse yet. So,
I think if Denver is able to sustain the first 7 minutes of the ball game tonight, because the Wolves are going to be at a level that we probably haven't seen yet as far as excitement and just being amped and all that kind of stuff, because the crowd's going to be absolutely bonkers. If Denver can survive that first 7-8 minutes of the game and stay in the game, then, anything can happen. And this is a team that's proven itself, over the last few years that they've got a very solid group of players that can win games like this tonight. I agree with Brad. I haven't seen the signs that Denver's capable of doing that, but you can't count them out. And this game is the series. This game is the series. If they win tonight, if the Wolves win tonight, it's over, because there's no way they're going to lose 4 in a row to Denver. If Denver wins tonight, then it's a series. Even if they were to lose Game 4 and be down 3-1, they still get a chance to go back home to stay alive, and then anything can happen. So tonight is the night. If the Wolves win, then Barkley's probably right. This is a 4-0 sweep.
I'll disagree a little bit. I think even if the Wolves lose tonight, I don't want people to think that the house is on fire. They can still come back and win Game 4, and then I think the series is over after that. I don't think Denver can beat them 3 straight times. I just don't think they can. I don't care if they go back to Denver or not. They can't beat them 3 straight times.
I hear you. Denver Nuggets, as we discussed a few days ago, they have not shown themselves to be the team that they were a year ago. But it's far from over. You don't want to give them any life whatsoever.
No. If they were to even the series by winning both games here, then I think you got a little cause for concern. But I think if the Wolves win one of these 2 games, I still think they're in the driver's seat.
Absolutely.
I don't disagree with that. I would just say, though, that this game tonight is obviously the series.
And the Denver Nuggets are well aware of that.
For Denver, yeah.
Yeah, it's truly the series for Denver. They've got to win this game tonight. So.
I look forward to the game within the game tonight, too, and that's the crowd with the heat pad stuff. What are we going to see? Are we going to see T-shirts, chants,
Well, just
signs?
their reaction to Murray, I think, is going to be the real.
Yeah. Anytime he touches the ball.
Right.
Fun. Yeah. I think it's going to be relentless too.
Okay.
I think it's going to be absolutely relentless on him.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, just the general reaction to Jamal Murray is going to be something. Every time he touches the basketball, I imagine he's going to be booed. Home crowds love that gimmick. I'm looking forward to, like what Josh was referencing, some of the signs, maybe someone shows up dressed as a heat pad. That will be a first, right?
Crunch dressed as a heat pad.
Oh, yeah. Crunch gets involved.
Yeah.
He's just wearing a bunch of heat pads.
He goes on, dunks some heat pads off trampolines.
Heat pad giveaway night.
That would be an all-time first for someone to show up dressed as a heat pad. What do you think of this? Gnaw and Order.
I like it.
I do.
That is a new nickname going around for the Timberwolves. Gnaw and Order.
Yeah. He's been great in this series. He really has. He's been great off the bench.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker is so valuable to the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not that crazy about the nickname.
Yeah, I'm not either.
No.
It's a reach.
Gnaw and Order. You want to know why? Because everybody gets locked up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a dumb nickname.
You're a dumb nickname.
Nobody likes fun.
So tonight, sometimes after 8:30, we're going to get to see Minneapolis come completely unglued. Un-effing glued, and I only wish I was going to be there.
I got a couple friends. They're getting married tomorrow, so shout out Bianca and TJ. So tonight is their, what do they call that, the groom's dinner. And they're huge Wolves fans, have been since day one, the types that have suffered through the lean years. and they're leaving their own groom's dinner early in order to make it to tip-off. That's hardcore. I love it.
That's awesome.
That's the only way to do it.
They have tickets.
Yeah, they have tickets, and they're season ticket holders.
They got food at Target Center.
Incredible.
Just move the groom's dinner to Target Center.
Yeah, really.
That would up the price of the groom's dinner quite a bit.
Yeah. And let's not forget the message that I dumped out there 2-3 years ago about how I'd like the Wolves to approach things from now on. North of 95, Jesus just reminded me with a text message. Let's be dicks about this. Don't forget. Let's be dicks. That was born on the night where the Wolves won the play-in game. Was that 2 seasons ago now?
Yeah.
Last
That's
season?
when your guy Pat Bev was crying and
Jumped on the table.
So two seasons ago? And wasn't it Denver they beat? No, it was New Orleans. Who the hell did they beat in that play-in game where Carl was the Lake? I don't know. Carl was hugging his girlfriend at center court. Patrick Beverly was losing his mind and crying. Yeah, and the national media turned on us for that. What a bunch of jagoffs acting like a play-in game is the NBA final. That's just being a dick. And yes, I would love for that element to still be there. Go out and win the ball game, but also be dicks about it. It's time for us to be dicks.
I think if you go 16-0 in the playoffs, that's being big enough dicks about it.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's be.
Just let your place.
I mean, I think exactly. I think their defense is probably the way they play defense is describing exactly what you want them to be, Nick. And that is because in the NBA, nobody plays defense like that.
You're right. These days in the NBA, playing defense, people assume you're acting like a dick.
Yep.
It might be too soon to look ahead a little bit, but I'm going to because I watched a little bit of that Oklahoma City-Dallas series, the first 2 games. Wolves fans should be cheering or hoping Dallas wins that series because Dallas does not play defense.
No, they don't.
At all. I mean, if you watch Doncic, he's a great offensive player, but watch him on defense.
He never plays defense.
Oh, my God.
I was just watching a night or 2 ago. They got that big kid under the basket now. What's his name? That big, tall kid they got from Washington. He blocks a few shots. I can't think of his.
Yeah,
Gafford.
They'll handle Dallas if they get Dallas.
What about this? A better nickname for the Timberwolves instead of Gnaw and Order? What about Hell Nah? That's way better than.
And have Bryant McKinney introduce him.
Oh, hell no. Oh, man. What else is going on around here?
Well, if you don't mind, I want to jump in with something here real quick before you move on.
Yes, Brad Ryder.
I want to, and I didn't know if you were going to get to this or not, but this weekend, or this season is John Anderson's final season as Gopher baseball coach, and this weekend is his last home series. I just wanted to give him a little bit of shout-out. 43 years as a Gopher baseball coach, 11 Big Ten titles. They're retiring as number 14 on Saturday. And as good of a coach he is, he's an even better human being. So just wanted to kind of recognize that he's been the head coach there for 43 years, and it's coming to an end this season, and they're doing a lot of special things for him this weekend over there at the U. So
yeah, we talked about it. We did talk about it yesterday, Brad.
Did you?
So obviously you weren't listening.
Sorry.
Did you get to know the guy there?
Oh, yeah. Out of all the coaches I've worked with, he's at the top of the list. I would travel with baseball for about a half a dozen years in the 90s. I actually met my wife on a Gopher baseball trip. And John was kind enough to let my son serve as bat boy for about 6 years when he was a little kid. So I'm very close with John.
Well, there you go. That's a nice thing, Brad Ryder.
Yeah,
it's a nice damn thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, we forgive you for not listening yesterday.
Sorry.
Back to the Wolves real quick. I don't know if you guys enjoyed this audio at all, but I guess before Game 1, Anthony Edwards was asked about whether he idolized any of the Nuggets players when he was younger the same way he idolized Kevin Durant from the Phoenix Suns, and Anthony brushed off the question, and it kind of came off funny.
Hey, you talked in that Phoenix series a lot about the way you saw Kevin and how that motivated you. And at your age, it's got to be fun to see all these OGs right in front of you. Is there anything like that in this series?
Nah, these guys 3-4 years older than me, man, yeah.
I mean, Jamal been around for a minute. Is that a guy that you've been tracking at all?
Nah, hell nah. Like I said, what is he, 27? I'm finna turn 23, dog. Yeah, KD 36, 35. Yeah, come on, man. There's no disrespect to Jamal. I don't know what you're trying to start, but yeah, he's no, not at all.
No. Maybe that's
he's on the hell now.
Maybe that's what pissed off Jamal Murray. Maybe he heard that. Because the guy thinks very highly of himself. No, I don't. He says, so what about Jamal Murray?
I don't think the guy was trying to start anything with him and trying to get him to say anything, but yeah.
I like that. No, I don't follow those guys. Bunch of punks. The Wolves' performance in that opening round got the Suns' head coach, Frank Vogel, fired.
The writing was pretty much on the wall the day after they got eliminated, and then in the general manager's press conference, he basically said, nope, we don't need to make any changes. He was talking about personnel.
Yeah.
When your GM says that, you're throwing your head coach under the bus.
Yep.
He was done right then.
They got him fired. Boy, he was pissed a couple times in that series. That was a lot of fun to watch. Patrick Beverley suspended 4 games for the basketball NATO.
That's if he's on a team next year.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you serve a 4-game suspension if you're out of the league?
He has made his rounds around the league.
Does that transfer to Europe?
Yeah.
I want him back here with the Timberwolves. I'd like him back here in town.
What?
I want Pat Beverly back in town.
No.
Hell yes, I do.
We're
he
done.
bought a jersey.
No.
We don't need him.
We are done.
I don't care if we need him or not. Get Patrick Beverly back here. He's a riot.
No. Done.
Congratulations to Karl Anthony Towns. He was named the NBA's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion.
It means a lot to have a name like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar be on an award and to be receiving that award, a guy who's not only impacted the game on the court but off the court. It means a lot, and I just try to continue to spread love. And my mother taught me the meaning of love, and I just want to continue to take her teachings that she's given me in her life, spread it with the youth and every generation to come. So,
good for you, Karl.
That's great.
I'd like my name mentioned in the same sentence as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but it's not going to happen. You want to know why? Because I like it when we're dicks. I do. Congratulations, Coral.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, the Twins straight up pumped the Seattle Mariners yesterday.
Woo.
They won 3 out of the 4 games in the series.
They really kind of clobbered that Seattle pitching staff, which was highly regarded as the best in the American League, at least ERA-wise.
Yeah.
But they got to Logan Gilbert yesterday in the first inning. They scored 5, and they just said, you know what, we'll score a few more on you if you want to hang around there for 4 innings.
Yeah.
They put an 8 spot on the guy, so...
They win the game 11-1. That's their 5th consecutive series win. They won 15 of their last 17 ball games.
Yeah. Pablo looked good yesterday, 10 strikeouts. They got a great offensive production from Margot in the first inning with a 3-run double. And I tell you what, Ryan Jeffers, man, who would have guessed that this guy is going to be hitting 2, 3, 4, 5 in your order, and he's just red hot. He's hitting the ball great. Kepler has been hitting the ball great since coming back from injury, and they've got some good things going.
Who would have thought that the AL Central, 4 out of the 5 teams in the AL Central are over 500 now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday.
Okay, so apparently I need to listen.
Brad, I'm going to send you a link to the podcast, Brad.
Brad, it sounded better the second time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're right. I mean, there was so much discourse about this division being so bad. And at least right now, 40 games in, it's pretty competitive. So we'll see how long it lasts.
You know, what is it with this ball club and great hitting catchers? We always seem to have a damn good hitting catcher on this roster. Of course, Mauer was there for a great chunk of time, but...
Yeah.
Well, but really...
Dave Engel was a very good offensive hitting catcher.
Brian Harper.
Brian Harper, for sure. Laudner, not so much unless it's the postseason you're talking about.
But, A.J. Pierzynski, Mitch Garver. Who am I missing in there?
You're right.
I'm missing an obvious
The Turtle.
The Turtle.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Suzuki.
Oh, yeah.
We always seem to have good hitting.
Tom Prince.
Sure.
He's the backup in
Mike
2002.
Redmond.
Oh, naked guy.
Yeah. And nobody can make a triple look beautiful like Mike Redmond.
Looked like the wheels falling off a wagon.
I'll never forget when he went down and took BP naked.
See, that's wrong.
Jeez.
I mean, that's wrong.
I was in the dugout and saw him come downstairs. I'm like, what the heck?
You don't want to follow one off that day.
No.
I mean, that's
that's an unfortunate visual you never forget.
That's sort of funny, but in my opinion, more like, do we have to sit this guy down and find out what's wrong with him?
Right. Yeah.
And this was obviously before fans were in the stands.
Right.
It was closed BP.
Yeah.
Well, closed
to. There's not
it was during. It was early BP.
Workers.
It was like 3:30 in the afternoon.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's something wrong with the guy. Up next for the Twins, a 3-game series in Canada against the Blue Jays starting tonight. Joe Ryan starts for the Twins.
What is the sausage status? Did it make the trip across the border?
I didn't hear any stories.
Or did they buy a new sausage?
A Canadian sausage.
Did they get a Canadian sausage?
We don't know anything about the status of the sausage.
We need to find out what's going on with the sausage.
I would like to know.
We could find out if we could see it on television.
That's a good point.
It's friggin' bizarre. I said yesterday, this is just so strange. I miss it. It's just a funny feeling to not be able to.
It's just the worst timing in the world for the Twins to have this happen, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, attention's already gone away from them temporarily because of the Wolves run, but now you're not even on TV, and
Right.
you're winning 15-17.
Sucks. Tomorrow is the inaugural baseball day in Minnesota, taking place at Minnetonka High School. This is the first I've heard of this. For Christ's sake, Hockey Day in Minnesota, they bang our brains out with ads for months ahead of time on that deal, and this is the first I've heard of Baseball Day in Minnesota. There's going to be some ball games. Wayzata plays Minnetonka. Cretin plays someone. Stillwater and Woodbury and Eastridge play someone. They're trying to spread these days around. There was a lacrosse day in Minnesota we never heard of. Now we got a baseball day in Minnesota we never heard of. Oh, but hockey day, they fold us in half every 10 minutes on television and tell us about that.
They show up at your house in the morning of the day of and wake you up.
They do, because it's a state of hockey. Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Ryan Suter has squared things up with Zach Parise. Ryan Suter won Game 2 last night 5-3. That series is now tied at 1 win apiece. The series now moves on. The next 2 games will be at Zach Parise.
I love whoever the texter yesterday or the day before, they called him the Colorado Zacalanche.
Yeah, Zacalanche. And in the other series, the friggin' Rangers won again. God, I can't stand
the Rangers. They haven't lost a game, have they?
I don't care.
Didn't they sweep their opening series?
Don't care. And Toronto Maple Leafs fired their head coach, whoever that is.
Maybe Frank Vogel can go coach Toronto.
You see Frank Vogel in the fall, ankle burning out there at Air Canada Center, whatever, coaching the Maple Leafs.
Darvin Ham with him.
Darvin Ham and Frank Vogel. Either one of you ever play hockey? No. But here we are in a hockey-crazed city, Toronto. We're going to try to... That's good stuff. Wapple, we haven't hosted a dad brawl in a while. Let's see if these two hoes still know how to throw hands. And I don't know the answer, Oil Spill Jesus. He texted in, you got Hockey Day in Minnesota. Now we got Baseball Day, Lacrosse Day. When are the Oil Spill Jesus? When are they going to have a Miss Bum Bum Day in Minnesota? I don't know.
Maybe you could start one. You are the world's biggest Miss Bum Bum fan.
I could bring it to America, couldn't I, Josh?
That'd be worth flying to Brazil for, wouldn't it?
Oh, flying to Brazil? How much Xanax and vodka do you have?
As much as you need.
Ooh, you know how I operate on that Xanax and vodka.
I've seen you at your best.
Our Friday Trivia HJ is back, and it goes by the name of Dad Fights. Randy Shaver versus Brad Ryder. This is the 166th edition of the game. 160. We're not going to make this one too complicated. We're going to try and add some more piss and vinegar to tonight's Wolves-Nuggets game. Today is the Colorado Sucks edition of Dad Fights. We're going to ask you some trivia questions. By God, we will. Most of them sports-related, don't you know? And most of them poke fun at the low moments that the state of Colorado has had to endure over the years. The bad times. The sucking. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Sure.
I'm just glad you're not quizzing us on the show on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, you wouldn't do so well.
No.
All the two of you's got to do is listen closely to the hints and information in each question. And by God, I bet you'll do just fine. It's been a while, so just to recap, your goal is to shout out what you believe to be the correct answer first before your opponent. If your answer, if you is how you say it, answer correctly, you hear my little bell over here. For Christ's sake, we forgot to cover the wrong answer again. We always forget to cover the wrong answer.
It's a fart.
Yes, the famous Costco intercom fart.
It's a fart.
The Costco intercom fart, I love it.
It's classic.
Yeah, it is. That's what you'll hear if you get a wrong answer. You can steal a point if your opponent answers incorrectly. 10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if necessary. And let me introduce you folks to Spooky Spaghetti Jesus.
Longtime listener Spooky Spaghetti Jesus here, checking in from the official 93X cemetery. That's the beauty of being on such a heavily scripted show. I already know how things are going to end up for y'all. Randy, after an amazing career on 93X and a far less noteworthy run on network television, we have your spot waiting here next to our favorite old bits that had to be buried. You're going to spend the rest of your afterlife between Fish Police and Jesse's old dog Gorilla. Know your enemy keeps thinking of Jesse Ventura. We got you an extra large coffin. No, not for that ass. Because we couldn't get your body unfused from the golf cart catastrophe at the Boca Raton Retirement Community.
I'm not dead!
Brad, you're newer. You get what's left. And sadly, that's a spot between a few hundred interns, a half a dozen co-hosts. Is that the name of a real porno, or did we make it up for comedic purposes in that glorious run where you had women awkwardly describe their granny panties at 7:30 a.m. on a Tuesday? I was sorry to see you die after that one-game guest spot announcing Twins games in Dick Bremer's place.
Way back and gone.
Seriously, I've never seen anyone actually die from negative internet comments. Anyway, I gotta get back to work. This is Dad Fights number 166. I'll see you soon.
You see, he kind of sounds like a guy that would take...
I love the voice.
Spooky Spaghetti Jesus?
It's so good.
Me too.
He kind of sounds like a guy who would take naked batting practice. Spooky Spaghetti Jesus. He went for it, didn't he?
Yeah, a lot of people text in. We're getting a lot of text in. He should go into radio.
He went for it.
He should.
If you want to be our next Dad Fights intro... Giver, yes.
Provider.
Giver. If you want to be an intro giver, send us an email, hams93x@gmail.com. And I'm sorry I blew up earlier about how I hadn't heard Dick Tracy about Baseball Day in Minnesota until an hour ago, where on Hockey Day, 6 months ahead of Hockey Day, Kevin Gorg is barking at me on television about Eastbound at Sundown, Jesus says. They've been advertising it on Bally Sports North.
Well, that's why we haven't seen it.
Right. That makes total sense. Last year, we would have known all about it. This year, there's no Bally Sports North coverage, so... All right.
Do you think those people are just kicking themselves, the Baseball Day in Minnesota people?
Yeah.
The 1 year.
Thanks a lot, Bally's.
Dang it.
I've been working 7 days a week on this nonsense, and then Bally Sports North takes a dump or whatever happened. Whatever. I don't know who's at fault. I'm just shouting things into the microphones. It's the Colorado Sucks edition of Dad Fights. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, you ought to listen up because Josh is going to fire challenge number 1 at you. My God, he is.
The holes are where your dignity leaks out. That's one of the many jokes haters have for a polarizing invention from the Centennial State. Another popular joke about the Colorado-born footwear. Crocs is what you said?
Yes.
That is the correct answer.
You did.
The other joke was going to be condoms are 99% effective for birth control, but these foam clog slip-ons are 100% effective. Crocs. The company revenue, by the way, skyrocketed over the last few years due to so many people working from home during the pandemic, and they decided, why not? They just went for it. Anybody here? Or no, Nick, you had Crocs, or do you still?
I still have them, but I've only worn them once or twice. I like them. They don't feel terribly comfortable on my narrow, diseased, yellowing, fungus-ridden feet. So I'm a positive guy when it comes to Crocs, but I can't say that I cruise around town in them ever.
Did you get any of the decorations? What are those called? Those accessories?
No.
Dangles?
I have no accessories. Yes,
Nick,
Randy?
didn't you borrow yours from Brett?
Yes. Yes. I have a pair of...
I saw that picture.
Brent Favre Crocs.
Croc. He's talking about a croc.
They're the ones from the photo way back in the day.
Famous photo.
That's one for Brad Ryder. The holes are where your dignity leaks out of?
Yes. That's one of the jokes.
What the anti-croc people say? There you go. It's 1-0. Nice one. I didn't know Crocs were invented out there in Colorado. That's why we go through with this segment. We learn things. All right, here we go. The Colorado Rockies suck bad this season. Worst record in all of baseball as of yesterday. The Rockies have had their share of piss-poor ball clubs in their 32 years as a franchise. Their 20+12 club lost 98 games. The primary right fielder for the Rockies that season was a former Twin who wore jersey...
Michael Kadire.
Oh, very good.
Who wore jersey number 3 in Colorado to honor Harmon Killebrew. That is correct, Brad Ryder. Your answer is Michael Kadire.
Didn't he win a batting championship?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, but I believe he won the batting championship with the New York Metropolitans.
Okay, yep, you're right.
I believe I'm correct about that. He did well in Colorado, but when he got to New York, he cut loose.
Yeah.
It says here, according to Danalysis, if you take away the Rockies' run to the World Series, where they got swept by the Red Sox in 2007, they only have 3 playoff wins in their 32 seasons.
Jeez.
They're having a terrible time this year, too. Like we discussed it yesterday. Brad, I know you missed
they're
it.
worse than the White Sox.
Yeah.
They're having a terrible time. That's 2 for Brad Ryder, isn't it, Wapple?
That's 2.
Colorado is home to the fictional town of South Park, where life can get particularly sucky for this mild-mannered animated character, once sold to Paris Hilton as a replacement pet called Mr. Biggles. Once given a 14-hour anal probe. Accidentally killed 17 people while tap dancing. Was nearly euthanized when mistaken for a dog, and constantly gets ridiculed by his parents for having a stupid face.
Cartman? I don't know. Cartman. That's the only name I know.
Randy Shaver guessed Cartman. That is incorrect. You've gotten through the entire question, haven't you, John?
I did, and that is a character in South Park, but not the one we're looking for.
That is Brad Ryder.
Okay.
Kenny. I don't know.
That's a good route to take.
Yeah, I'm just proud you guys both were able to name South Park characters.
Yeah, they both got one. Butters Stotch is who we were referring to.
I hate my stupid
Butters
face.
Stotch.
He even hates his stupid face. According to SouthParkFandom.com, Butters has a criminal record and apparently includes terrorism, pimping, car theft, manslaughter, war crimes, indecent exposure, rioting, and attempted Armageddon.
A little bit of everything on there.
Well, that's me.
Poor Butters.
When he was going through the 14-hour anal probe, when they were kind of playing off the Exorcist movie, that was lights out.
Butters is so great.
He's my favorite.
He's a hilarious character. When he steps up to the urinal, he pulls his pants and his underwears all the way down to the floor. and then he pulls his shirt up above his nipples.
Yep.
You don't want to get any pee on it.
Under the chin.
And Dana, how does he sit on the toilet?
Well, what do you call it? AC Slater style. So he sits on it backwards so he can have room for his juice box and comic book.
That's right, right there on the top of the tank.
Yep.
That's genius.
I love that we were able to include Butters into this Colorado Sucks edition of Dad Fights. Neither competitor, Randy or Brad, could knock that one down, so it's still 2-0 Brad. Asking about all kinds of miserable Colorado stuff to try to add a little fuel to the fire for tonight's ball game. Now, long before the Major League Baseball Colorado Rockies came around, there was an NHL team called the Colorado Rockies that absolutely sucked. In 6 seasons, they managed to win just 113 of their 480 games before they mercifully moved to the East Coast to become what NHL franchise? State of hockey, my ass.
The Hartford Whalers.
I don't know.
Brad is incorrect.
New Jersey Devils.
Oh, yeah, you're
got
right.
one.
Really?
Randy's on the board.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, you're right. After you said it,
Are you
you're right.
serious or are you just pulling my leg?
No, you're right.
You're right.
Am I really? Oh my God, just guessed.
I don't play games with this friggin' bell.
We had one big group chat and said, if Randy guesses New Jersey Devils on question number 4, let's all pretend he's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Brad Ryder guessed the Hartford Whalers. That's incorrect, but Randy Shaver is correct. The New Jersey Devils moved out that away in 1982. The Rockies, all they really had going for them was their uniforms were beautiful. The old Colorado Rockies sweaters were beautiful. Lanny McDonald played there. Aaron Broughton was a Colorado Rocky. But, yeah, they mostly sucked eggs. Good one, Randy Shaver. And you know what I missed? When the original New Jersey Devils hit the scene, they had just the primary red and green.
Mm-hmm. I liked that.
They were kind of perfectly ugly, were they not?
Yep.
But since, I don't know, for many, many years, they just go with the black and red. And anyway, Randy Shaver on the board is 2-1 Brad.
A lot of people might forget that before John Elway won them back-to-back Super Bowls, the Denver Broncos had a Vikings level of ineptitude in the big game. The Broncos got blasted in their first 4 Super Bowls by a combined score of 163-50, including a 55-10 beatdown at the Louisiana Superdome in Super Bowl 24 to what NFC team?
The
Bears? I don't know.
49ers.
Brad with the correct answer.
There you go.
I was trying to think of that.
45 points is still the biggest blowout in Super Bowl history. Coming in second, 1986's matchup between Chicago and New England, where the Bears won by 36 points.
Yeah, the Niners curb stomped them in that Super Bowl. I remember that one because that was my senior year of high school. We had a big beer party for that one. The Broncos had tough times there for a while. They had tough times. Brad Ryder now takes a 3-1 lead. Brad Ryder correct with that answer. The San Francisco 49. Here we go again. Next challenge. Just about every member of the Colorado Avalanche and Detroit Red Wings could have been arrested on March 26, 1997 after some on-ice brawls that would later be recognized as Bloody Wednesday, Fight Night at the Joe, and the Brawl in Hockeytown. This all stemmed from a playoff incident the year prior when an Avalanche player crushed the Red Wings' Chris Draper's face into the boards. Name the nasty-ass yet
Claude
very...
Lemieux.
Randy Shaver with another correct answer. Name the nasty-ass yet very talented forward for the Avalanche that turned Chris Draper's face into picante sauce. Yes, the correct answer is Claude Lemieux. I mean, really, honestly, Chris Draper should have died that night. That hit was so brutal. So brutal. And after the game, one of the legendary quotes in hockey history, Dino Ciccarelli, who was playing for the Wings at the time, said about Claude Lemieux, "I can't believe I shook that friggin' guy's hand after the game. That pisses me right off." What an awesome rivalry they had. That was one of the last truly great NHL rivalries because it included insane on-ice violence, something that I miss in today's league. Nice one, Randy. Claude Lemieux.
A lot of people love to ski, but nobody loves diarrhea.
Oh!
While synonymous with mountains and moguls for skiers and shredders, Colorado will also always be tied to mountains of mud butt, thanks to one of the more memorable diarrhea scenes in cinema history, where Jeff Daniels' character Harry Dunn had some mountains of liquid poop flowing from his aspen in this 1994 Jim Carrey comedy.
Oh, God.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, good job, Brad.
That's right, Randy.
That took too long,
No,
but
that
good
was
job.
Brad.
That was Brad.
I think I got it.
No, I got it. I had it out before you even started.
Yeah, Brad got it.
Yeah, it was Brad.
Damn.
You did get it right, though, Randy. You did get it.
Yep,
It's a little late.
Dumb and Dumber. That's one of the more famous poop scenes of all time. Boy, is that gross. It was almost Nick Cage who plopped down on that Aspen toilet instead of Jeff Daniels. Cage asked for too much money. Daniels, on the other hand, wanted the role so bad he agreed to a $50,000 salary, which was only $6,950,000 less than Carey's meager $7 million payday. $50,000 he did that movie for.
Dang.
Comedy
Glad he
classic.
did.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Swanson.
Samsonite.
One of the hardest I've ever laughed in a movie theater was Dumb and Dumber. I could not, and I did not know anything about the movie going into it. I was actually on a blind date. Oh, my damn. We both, me and the gal I was at the theater with, we laughed ourselves sideways. That's another correct for Brad Ryder. The score is 4-2. The Colorado Sucks edition of Dad Fights is what we're in the middle of here. Let's see where we go with the next one. Deion Sanders recently brought his tired gimmick to the University of Colorado Buffalo's football program, and it worked for a few minutes. Suckers were drawn in to the first few home games until it was obvious that it was all just a lot of hype. The Buffaloes did have some laughs in the 1990s. Name Colorado's All-American quarterback back then.
Cordell Stewart.
Who pulled off the miracle at Michigan in 1994. Brad Ryder is correct with Cordell Stewart. September 24th, 1994, he threw a game-winning 64-yard Hail Mary touchdown pass into the end zone to wide receiver Michael Westbrook in the closing seconds to beat the Michigan Wolverines. I know this contest is supposed to revolve around the terribly sucky moments in the history of Colorado sports, but I couldn't resist taking a shot at those douchebags at the University of Michigan. The Cordell Stewart pass was effing incredible.
Yeah.
What an incredible play. Brad, or what's his name to my right over there with the black baseball cap?
Wapple.
Yeah.
Wapple, were you asleep at the wheel there?
No, I was trying to hit this button, and here we go.
No, I think that's it.
You win.
Brad Ryder wins Dad Fights Part 100 plus 66, the Colorado Sucks edition, by a final score of 5-2. 5-2. You guys did well. And I hope maybe we've added a little bit of extra hate to the scene, Josh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pump folks up for tonight. We were going to ask about Jay Cutler, which would have given us an opportunity to play another South Park clip when a representation of Jay Cutler was on.
Dude, that's Jay Cutler over there, quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Oh my gosh!
Jay, I want you to meet Stan and Kyle. They broke 100,000 points on Guitar Hero.
Wow, really? Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you. I mean, you kind of suck, but my dad says you might be good someday.
Were you watching the game tonight, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder?
I'm just going to be at home, I believe.
First half at work.
Yeah.
First half at work and second half, hopefully fourth quarter by the time I get home.
Enjoy it. Like I said, this is the biggest basketball game in 20 years here in town. It's going to be a friggin' riot. I hope they can pull off the win and make it 3-0. That would be outstanding. Thanks, you guys. Have an awesome weekend.
See ya.
See you later. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
What's up, everyone? It's Reality Steve, your #1 source for all things Bachelor Nation and reality TV. Every day, I'm giving you the behind-the-scenes juice and your info on all your Bachelor Nation stories, and also interviewing some of your favorite reality stars. My name has been synonymous with spoilers, but I'm so much more than that. Give me a listen.
The Reality Steve Podcast, part of the Believe Network. Just search BLEAV on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah. This is just wonderful. It is Friday. It's 8:31. And we're very happy to know that you're out there listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show for us. Appreciate that. We were talking about Mother's Day earlier. It's Sunday, don't you know? Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, by God, to each and every... We ended up talking quite a bit about our own mothers. Earlier on, Josh got some inappropriate text messages about his mother. They were rude and inappropriate.
They were.
Uncalled for.
Some of them even started out by saying something nice, and then they sucker punched me at the end of the text. And it's my fault for not pre-reading those texts.
Well, it can happen. You know, you're on the spot. You're live on the radio. You make a hell of a lot of money around here. You got other things to think about. Yeah, a lot of them were sucking you in with nice things, and then they'd kick you right in the mouth with something rude and inappropriate.
Hold on, I'm just clicking out of fidelity.com. Just balancing my portfolio.
Just give us a rough idea of what kind of money you got.
Can I borrow your glasses? There's a lot of digits there.
Oh! That's why his mother's so proud. The people at the Hollywood Reporter. You know anyone who works over there?
No, I don't.
The people
that get made fun of for not knowing anybody at the Hollywood Reporter.
What do you care? Look at that friggin' Fidelity report in front of you.
That is so much. That's so many numbers.
You're more friggin' Hollywood than some of the people at Hollywood Reporter.
All right, good point.
With the amount of the people at the Hollywood Reporter put together the 7 billionth list of the 10 most memorable moms on television. Happens all the time. We always seem to run into, especially this time of year. It goes like this, okay? The 10 most memorable moms on television. Think about who you might have enjoyed watching, okay? 10-1. Memorable moms from your television screen. Number 10, never saw it. But I sure liked this lady when I first saw her on music television back in the day. I think it's the same lady. Mandy Moore.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She plays a mother on a program called This Is U.S.
This is us. It's us, actually.
Oh, it's not a patriotic program?
No. I mean, maybe they touch on some of those themes.
Takes place in America, so.
I watched the first episode, and it was excellent. It was so good. I was bawling at the end, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't think I had the emotional maturity or energy to keep up with the show.
It's a serious, life-altering type of a program?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I know it was a huge show. People love the show.
Really?
I mean, the first episode was so good, but I just couldn't do it afterwards. I thought, I can't do this every episode.
So Mandy Moore, the gal who used to do pop songs back in the day, she is the mother on this program.
I barely remember.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I think that's the show I watched.
Yeah, and you're not alone, Josh. A lot of people quit watching, not just after the first episode, a couple more episodes in, because they said, I just can't do it anymore. It is draining how sad and emotional. Like, everything that could go wrong, it does go wrong, and it was so sad for people.
But the writing was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that there was this kind of a thing happening. Rebecca Pearson is her character name, Mandy Moore. Yeah, I remember when she was a little character on MTV singing pop songs. I just thought she was the cutest thing that had ever happened. All right, there you go, number 10. Mandy Moore as Rebecca Pearson on the show This Is Us. Number 9, Marge Simpson.
Classic.
Of course.
Voiced by Julie Kavner on the program The Simpsons. Now, are The Simpsons still going and pumping out fresh episodes?
Sure are.
Yes, I actually...
You got to be boning me.
This is pretty fitting because in the newest episode that they just came out with, I watched it and Marge, she found her way into some money and, of course, had typical mom guilt and felt bad about spending any of it on herself.
Right.
Okay. That's the end of the story?
Well, that was a Marge-centric episode.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was very, very Marge and about her love for being a mother.
Okay. Yeah, she always seemed to dig that role. I haven't watched fresh episodes of The Simpsons in many, many, many years, but I certainly have. I loved catching it now and again. Very, very funny.
Season 35 right now.
F me.
That's crazy.
I hope they never stop.
Number 8, again, this is from The Hollywood Reporter, put together this report on the most memorable moms on television. Number 8 is Peggy Bundy, gorgeous and absolutely hilarious.
Yep, I'd put her on my list. What I mean is the memorable moms.
Any list.
Not to sound dirty.
Played by Katie Seagal on Married with Children. That is one of my favorite shows ever. I just can't get enough. Married with Children. I'll watch it every damn day. All the characters are so funny. It's just so ridiculous. Number 7, very near and dear to my heart, and I know Josh's heart as well. This is one of the shows I watched growing up. And still to this day, if I come across Good Times, by damn, I'm going to at least check and see what episode it is.
Yeah.
Florida Evans.
Florida was an awesome mom.
Yeah.
She's great. She's like, I'd at least like her to be a neighbor or an aunt or something. She was awesome.
Florida Evans, played by Esther Roll on Good Times. I mean, we've covered this up and down. I idolize Jimmy Walker. I would consciously try to emulate Jimmy Walker or his character JJ when I walked into my grade school. Kindergarten, first grade, I wanted to be noticed. And the first thought I had in my head was, what would JJ do? So I would walk down the halls. I would talk like him. I would try to walk like him. Good Times was huge for me as a kid. Number 6, most memorable mom. The character Sophia Petrillo, played by Estelle Getty on the show The Golden Girls. I never got into The Golden Girls.
I enjoyed that. That was one the whole family sat around the TV and watched.
Yeah, I've always liked it quite a bit.
No offense to her, I guess she wouldn't be top of mind if I was making a list like this.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and I have a theory once we get to the final that I'll explain. And that might be why someone like Estelle Getty and her character from The Golden Girls would have made this top 10, where normally maybe you wouldn't see her. I have a theory, and you probably will figure it out by then anyway. Number 5, never saw it. It's a television program called Friday Night Lights.
Tammy Taylor.
The character is Tammy Taylor, played by Connie Britton.
Mm-hmm. She's fantastic.
Boy, does she like her wine.
She does. She likes her wine in that show.
So is it similar? Because I have watched the movie, which I thought was pretty damn good.
Oh, I love that movie.
I've yet to see it.
Pardon me, what?
Booby Miles.
Yes, Booby Miles is the running back who hurts himself. It plays along that kind of dramatic stuff?
Yep.
The sitcom, or not sitcom, the television show plays along with what the movie had to offer.
Yes, for high school football in Texas, there's the drama, everything that goes along with it. Everybody knows how intense it is down there. And it is a fantastic show. And I first read the book, and that's the one time I can say that about something that got made into a movie. I read the book, and I thought it was fantastic. And then they started making the movie. I'm like, you can't make a movie about Friday Night Lights. And then I loved the movie even more than the book. And then they came out with the TV show and said, there's no way the TV show can live up to the book and then the movie. And somehow the TV show is now my favorite of the 3.
What if they're going to have a podcast? Then what would your thought be?
No chance, Josh. That's too far. It'll probably be fantastic.
I really like the movie. Really outstanding movie.
Mm-hmm.
Can I give you my quote from the movie that I always remember?
Yeah.
Can you be perfect? What's his name again? Billy Bob Thornton, Friday Night Lights. Number 4 on the list of memorable moms in television history. There's a bit of a darkness that surrounds this, but you can't deny Claire Huxtable.
Oh, yeah. She's definitely top of mind.
Played by Felicia Rashad on The Cosby Show. The Cosby Show was fun.
It was. What a shame that it has to be tarnished like that, because that is an all-timer. That was such a good show. And Claire was great.
It really was a fun show. You know what was killing me when I was looking at this earlier? I'm going to go with the youngest and try to go up to the oldest. Forgetting about Theo, the one male in the Huxtable family. I'm going to go youngest to oldest Huxtable women, daughters. Rudy was the youngest. And then there was Vanessa. Don't tell me. And then there was Lisa Bonet. Her character was, I had this earlier and I lost it. Lisa Bonet's character was Denise. What was the oldest one? She almost never showed up.
She wasn't into off.
The oldest character name, daughter. Her husband's name was Elvin.
Yep.
What the hell was her name? Rudy, Vanessa, Denise, and what?
Sandra?
Oh, yes. I remember it was like fancy. Yeah.
Fancy.
That's right, Sandra.
She only showed up every 6 or 8 months or whatever because she was 30.
Yep.
And then Rudy was 8.
Oh, Rudy was the best.
Number 3, Carol Brady.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Played by Florence Henderson on The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch in Good Times. All you have to do is show me about the first 10 seconds, if even that, of the episode, and I can tell you the premise of the episode. That's how much the Brady Bunch and Good Times were a part of my youth. Florence Henderson was just a wonderful person.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful person. And I know that she and, what was the, Mike, the dad's real name, Robert Reed. I know she and Robert Reed didn't always enjoy their gig on the Brady Bunch because the show was so friggin' stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think, especially Robert Reed, I think he thought he was more of a serious actor, and this role might have been a little beneath him.
He was always, that, I'm sure. He was always pushing for, let's have an overdose, right? Let's have a kid get pregnant. And he was right. At least in his mind, he was right. We're not portraying a real American family here. This is silly. We're having potato sack races and Cousin Oliver and the kids are allergic to the dog. This is stupid. Let's have some real drama. And of course, the guy who created the show was like, "No, the stupid bit is working. You're going to go to Hawaii, okay?"
Oh, some things happened there, though. Ooh. Well, look out.
Marcia got into a bikini is what happened there.
Cousin Oliver I could see growing up to become a serial killer. Maybe if they bring it back. And how good were the movies, by the way?
They were funny.
Oh, God.
Those were so awesome.
Absolute riots.
Yeah, really good.
They so perfectly poked fun. I love the Brady Bunch movie. I never saw it. Number 2 on the list of memorable TV moms. The character is Dr. Rainbow Johnson. The actor, Tracy Ellis Ross, and the show is called Blackish.
I haven't watched that yet either.
I've heard it's fantastic.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about it.
And finally, number 1, and this is where I can dump my theory on you. The people who read, or whatever the Hollywood Reporter is, it's a magazine, it's a website, whatever. The people who are involved in that setup must be older people.
Oh, yeah, based on this list, definitely.
Based on this list.
There's quite a few.
I don't know what the Hollywood Reporter is, but I am very, very, very pleased to announce that their list shows Edith Bunker from All in the Family, played by Jean Stapleton, as the number 1 most memorable TV mom. Another show that I absolutely loved. And Edith was such a hilarious effing character. Jean Stapleton, brilliant, just like Carol O'Connor was brilliant with Archie. Oh, man.
There's a couple glaring omissions here. Lois on Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes.
Was one of my favorite TV moms.
100%.
June Cleaver, Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, I love June.
She basically raised me watching Leave It to Beaver.
That's a very good one. Yes.
Lord, I'm worried about the beaver.
What about Morticia Adams? Now, there's a complicated relationship I have with she's motherly, yet I am very attracted to her.
She's a MILF.
Wilma Flintstone, I thought she was great.
So I was more of a Betty Rubble guy myself.
You got some great ones there.
Kitty Foreman.
Yeah, she needs
Oh,
to be
that
on.
70s show.
I thought you said something different there for a second. She was good.
You got some good ones there.
More anxiety than hair Jesus. Where's Lois Griffin? Oh, a lot of people are saying where's Lois Griffin.
Yeah, again, I think you have to consider the source. These are Mother's Day. We were talking Mother's Day. Before we go, we should cover a couple more things. Well, first off, we were rolling through a top 10 list put together by some folks called The Hollywood Reporter. They put together a list of the most memorable moms on television. One of the moms that made the list was Carol Brady, portrayed by Florence Henderson on the legendary program, The Brady Bunch. Got a listener texted in, Josh, that says, Carol Brady, she was a stay-at-home mom with a frickin' maid. Screw that.
I guess that's a good point.
She had a lot of kids to manage. Come on.
I never thought of it that way. She had kind of had a cake gig.
You know, and I the text escapes me here. So I'd like to give credit to this person because I can't believe I didn't come up with this one. Caroline Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie.
Oh.
You know she put out.
Well,
please be respectful. We're talking about mothers here and Mother's Day.
Caroline Ingalls.
Yeah.
She had a tough run.
She did.
Living out there in the woods.
She had to be brave, didn't she?
She did. And we also mentioned Mandy Moore, actress, singer. She plays a mother on a television show that is called This Is U.S. Listeners have texted in to say, keep an eye out for the sequel. It's called This Is Canada. I got to say, my mother, God bless her, she's still going. My mother's two favorite things in the whole world are hard liquor and cigarettes. What would be your mother's two favorite things in the whole world? And you can't say they're stupid grandkids. That doesn't count.
Darn it.
You can't say grandkids. What would be your mother's two favorite things in the whole world? If you had to pick just two, Josh. Oh, and keep an eye on your text messages, by the way, Josh.
Yeah. So 20 years ago, I would have said cigarettes.
Yeah.
For sure. Not anymore. She loves to bake Rice Krispie bars.
Is that right?
She does. She absolutely loves it.
Who the hell doesn't love Rice Krispie bars?
Yeah, people talk about them. She
Yeah.
loves to do that, and she loves to compliment Wapple. She'll text me every day and say,
What?
"Oh, that Wapple character."
Really?
So
Yep.
sweet.
She
No
loves
way.
She loves Wapple.
Wow. I didn't know that. Well, now I love her too.
Now? Yeah, that's kind of rude.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
I guess I've always loved her.
Okay. There we
Rice Krispie bars and Wapple.
go. Door swinging truck driver Jesus said, as far as the two things his mom likes to do, bitching and complaining.
Yeah, I would have definitely Kohl's is on the list.
She likes to go to Kohl's.
You know, grandmas love Kohl's.
She works at Kohl's. She goes to Kohl's. She spends her whole time at Kohl's.
That's where I got my latest pair of indoor shoes. Actually, my last couple pair.
My mother likes to hang out there for hours.
Yeah.
Typical mom
Grandmas,
thing.
they love it.
Hours.
That and Macy's.
They have to throw her out.
Yeah, my mom, they just gave her a job. They're like, all right, lady, you're here too much. You're working now.
If you're going to hang on bug us all day, we're going to put you to work.
All right, Kohl's and what?
Oh, man. You took
Maybe
away
you
the
don't know
grandkids.
your mother as well as you think you do.
I would probably say like spaghetti or tacos. That was always her go-to meals. That's all she could really make was tacos and spaghetti.
You know, maybe
Nothing
some
wrong
of
with
yous
that.
out there, maybe some of yous don't know your mothers well enough, and this will inspire you to have a conversation with the woman on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree with you saying that because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who nothing came to their mind.
No, it's only you.
No, I know my mom like the back of my hand.
Well, I guess I could
what are
throw
her two favorite things then?
Mick Jagger in there
She
too.
likes to be like anywhere warm, like a beach. She loves going to visit her friend in Florida.
Oh.
And then having a glass of wine or a drink after work.
Or during work, before
But
work.
it's hard for her because my brother won't stop drinking all her booze.
Your brother drinks up all of your mother's booze.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll replace it," and then he never does.
Does he
Typical
live there?
kid. Yeah, he's living there right now.
Still breaking into
No,
moms
yeah,
and
he just
stealing
walks
booze
in.
from the freezer.
I wouldn't be
Locks
surprised.
on it.
She's at that point, Waffle.
It's like back to high school all over again.
Yeah, is your brother pouring water in it and putting it back?
Oh, that's always a move.
But he leaves the empties in the fridge, and it makes her so mad.
HVAC delivery, Jesus said his mom's favorite two things are her other two children.
Dude, Oregonian Jesus. He knows what's up. He's got a mother like mine. His mother's two favorite things, Bud Light and Marb Red 100s.
Nice.
Woo-wee.
This person says, my mom's two favorite things, complaining. We got a couple of those.
Yes.
And Jesus.
Jesus.
No, I'll put Jesus up there for my mom, too.
My mom loves Jesus, too.
Yeah, he comes up in conversation
really
once in a while.
Yeah.
He does.
How about from Zelda Master Jesus, his mom, Diet Coke and sleep.
Diet Coke would be on my mom's list for sure. Diet Coke, Bud Light, live music.
Mom's in their damn Diet Coke.
They love their Diet Coke. Especially in the fountain drink. She likes the fountain drinks best.
Extra ice.
Mm-hmm. Has to be on ice in the fountain drink.
Fountain soda.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that, too.
Well, every damn last one of your moms out there, as big of a pain in the ass as you can be from time to time, we put up with you.
That was so heartfelt.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We put up with you. We're not going anywhere. We're not always happy, but we're not going anywhere.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, that'll bring a tear to your eye right there.
Right.
Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text RISE, R-I-S-E, to 651-989-9393. You get a shot to win tickets to the 93X family reunion with Godsmack. Nothing more, Wage War, Sleep Theory, and more. We're not allowed to say the other bands that are going to be announced, but there's something special coming. This will be September 26th at the XL Energy Center. Prize provided by Ledge Entertainment. Not a cop, Jesus texted in earlier. By the way, I suspect he is a cop over the years of him texting. He wants to share his appreciation to St. Paul Park Fire Department Medic 14. They helped his dad, who suffered a stroke yesterday. He said they got him to the hospital quick and were especially nice. And good news, by the way, Pops is already feeling much better, so we're glad to hear it. Not a cop, Jesus. Best of luck to Dank Daddy Jesus and Juicy Booty Jesus. They're about to get on an airplane with an active 18-month-old and said they're kind of freaking out. I bet that's stressful, not just for you, but for everyone else with a ticket. Happy heavenly birthday, shout out to Kitty Lover Jesus' brother, Nick, and our best to your family. Happy early birthday to Owen, turning the big 06 tomorrow from Mom, ex-Hotel Jesus, and happy Mother's Day and fishing opener weekend.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.